Hello and welcome to the Gfinity Arena, home to the Elite Series. Tonight we are bringing you a live match from week 4 of the Counter-Strike competition, featuring two teams with very different personalities. Team Epsilon were heavily favoured going into this competition, but only really got their campaign going last weekend. Method and Epsilon will both expect to take a place in the final 4.
Coming into the tournament, I thought they were going to be easily one of the best teams.
There's no team there that should even be able to touch us in a best of 3.
Pulse will find the shot, and Method get the opening round.
It's just rough at the moment. We're just trying to play as much as possible and trying to get used to each other.
Barbar picking up the AWP.
Week 3 of the Elite Series is XL versus Epsilon.
Honestly, I have to call this as a series 2-0 to XL.
There's 5-man pressure from the CT side, Lee on the line. Just trying to overwhelm the opposition more than anything, but they will be caught off instantly. He is going to go for the knife. Muya just toying with him right now. It's just so awkward, Lazar. He peeks up. 0-2 for them. Epsilon take it.
But standing in their way tonight is Team Infused and their motivational leader, Neil M. These guys are coming off the back of their first win last weekend, and I can guarantee that Neil M will be living and breathing every moment of the action over the next 2 hours.
They seem to have a strategy. They may have been trying to wrap Arch as well.
Aaron's there, but it's not Aaron getting pumped up. It's the man behind him.
Diffuse comes in, and Infused, they steal it at the end.
So tonight we are bringing you the live match of Epsilon taking on Infused live from the Gfinity Arena. Now, over here in the casters area, we are very lucky to have two elite people from the Csgo scene. I'm going to say Aline, is that all right? We've got Machine and we've got Pansy. Now, I have to ask you, guys, lovely to have you here for this evening and the last match of the day. But I need to ask, how important is the Elite Series for Csgo in the UK?
I'll let you take this one if you want, Laura. I mean, it's a big one.
Well, looking at the UK scene from grassroots where it began to seeing it here, even just in this setup, is huge. For just at its pure basis, let alone with the prize money, the competitive atmosphere that comes along with it, and now the teams being able to support these players, get them on salary, really push it from where it was even just a couple of months ago to being on a genuinely professional level now.
And just to add to the pile, I think that something that is so integral to why this is so necessary is because of the fact that players have a chance to really dedicate themselves to something. It's very hard as a human being to be motivated by, you could win a mouse mat if you put 8 hours of your life in for 4 months.
Yeah,
you know,
amen to that.
It's just not enough. And now you have that financial kind of encouragement. You also have, a team shirt to wear. Your nickname that you chose when you were 11 is now on your back and you're standing on a big stage. There's a lot that's changing, and of course, worldwide it's changing. Now here in the UK, it's doing the same.
And with the Elite Series, it gives an opportunity for the rookies as well to break in to the professional teams, even to mingle with the veterans up there. That must be exciting as well for them.
Oh, it's exciting for me. I remember seeing some of these names and faces 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Hand in a Pringles tube, sitting there on their pillow in their manhole. Yeah.
Well, Barbar, who's playing for Epsilon, was one of them. He used to be in a team with Windansky. Now they're on opposite sides of the table here. It's great seeing how the scene's evolving and how there's fresh blood coming in. New names that are starting to carve their way. Smooya being one of them. Yeah. Huge storyline for me. The guy's got an attitude, but he does have the skill to support it. Whether we see that or not coming through on big stages, that's what we're here to find out.
Yeah. I mean, here's a fun one. Weber. I remember being at an Epic LAN, and he would turn up in his little floppy beanie and his trackies, and he'd bring a CRT. We're talking those monitors that you have, it's 2 arms and you have to lift with your legs, and he's carrying it into the LAN hall. Yeah. And now he's sitting there at 144 hertz, just brapping it out.
All he has to bring is his team jersey. That's all he needs to bring.
Yeah.
If you're a rookie out there and you want to get involved, it's gfinityesports.com if you want to get involved with that. Are you excited about tonight, the last match of the day?
It goes without saying. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's rivalry here. Lawrence touched on it already.
Yeah, for me, I love this personally. I used to play for Infused back in the day, many a moon ago. So I'm a big fan of that. But I'm also a very big fan of the way that Barbar plays. I think Freddie B is a huge talent. Smooth is a sick storyline to get behind. Yeah. So I'm kind of torn on this, but I can't wait to see how well this plays out now.
Okay, well, I can't wait for you guys to start casting. Listen, if you are new to the Elite Series, here is everything that you need to get the competition explained. In the regular season, all 8 teams will play each other once, with the top 4 teams progressing to the playoffs. Each match will be the best of 2, with the teams swapping home and away after the first map. If a team wins 1 map, they will receive 1 point. If a team wins 2 maps, they will receive 3 points. Teams will use the veto system to determine map selection. There is a maximum of 30 rounds, The start money is $800, and the side selection will be decided by a knife round. Right then, joining me in the panel, this is a lovely little desk that I have around me. I've got Csgo and I've got James. Listen, gentlemen, great matchup here, Epsilon versus Infused. What are the talking points from that, James? Like, we'll go straight to you, sir.
Well, Epsilon are a team who have had a lot of turbulence. They were a Swedish team which had a lot of their roster stolen by bigger Swedish organizations who are in need of players. So they've gone from a mostly Swedish team to a minority Swedish team at this point. So that's quite interesting. There's lots of young players on both teams as well, which is going to be really interesting. Obviously, Smooth has been pointed out on Epsilon, but what about Infused?
Yeah, Infused is a bit. In the past few weeks, we've probably argued that they're more of a mercenary squad. But in the past few weeks, they've been building on, the roster. They've had some changes here and there, and now they're actually looking to be more of a team, which is nice to see, obviously, and kind of hopeful, really. Yeah,
and they're led by the motivational man of Neil M. To describe that for people at home who are joining, what is the role of the coach up there, the kind of manager?
I suppose it depends, really. Neil's a special kind of coach, I suppose.
Special being the word to underline that, yes.
I suppose, yeah.
Interesting character.
Very motivational kind of guy. If you're winning, he's great. He's there pumping you up. Every time you get a kill, he's like, yeah, come on, patting you on the back. But if you're losing, there are bits where it doesn't quite do the same effect.
So you've got that leadership from maybe the coach or the manager just behind you, but there is also the in-game leader. And someone like Barber for Epsilon last week stepped up to it, didn't he, really?
The in-game leader is going to be directing the entire team and changing the approach in the game on the fly if needed in the mid-round and the late round. So that's going to be a very important role for both teams. And the middle of the round can be some of the most important calling, which can be done from other players as well. They can chip in, but some people might be too stubborn to listen to them and want to be, have that tunnel vision, or maybe they will listen to them and that can win them rounds. So you've got to keep your focus there, but also, again, if you don't have that sixth man behind you, then you need to be the person to keep your team in check and keep them focused as well.
Yeah, I mean, we can see Barber right now, got the coach behind him. It does require that strong leader that steps up. And his stats have been very good throughout the Elite Series so far in week 4. But they've got good players around them like Smuya as well. They've got a strong team out there, haven't they, on the roster?
Yeah, they've got an incredibly, I suppose, diverse roster, as James mentioned. Like, it's a multinational roster, it's a minority Swedish roster now. They've got Cosmin, who's been plucked out of the Romanian scene. Smuya been plucked out of the UK scene.
Yeah.
And it's just a star-studded roster, really.
It feels like what goes around comes around. They've had their team pillaged in many respects, and now they've gone and pillaged what they can out there.
Yeah, but it's important that they have the experience of players like Barber and may Freddie B on their team as well, although Freddie B's a bit younger, because with players who are 17, 18 years old, they may be very good at the game, but they will lack the experience and maybe the temperament under pressure as well. So they've got that leadership in the team to help them with that, which is important going forward.
Now, last week, Jane, just to interject there, last week, Aaron stepped up for Infused, and I want to focus on them. Is he the key man today to do something like that, stepping up with the level of experience he had? I mean, I know for a fact he had a bit of a nightmare getting here tonight, a 3-hour journey, coming from all the way in Bournemouth, which, anyway, he was telling me all about the train stories. But is he the key player for Infused tonight?
I suppose he's the key in the sense that he's one of the veterans of the team, and he should kind of lead by example. Same way an IGL should. Aaron's kind of a similar presence, like in that team. He's got Trials there, Nick, and then Fry1. 3 young players who kind of need someone to be there to show them what you need to do, and obviously lead by example, top fragging, clutching and stuff like that.
And I love it to see the players getting ready with a cheeky little smile on their face. What we're going through their heads right now, just to put it in context for people who are watching this?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're on Team Infused, right, Neil M's like the hype man, he's the Flavor Flav, so one can only imagine what he's saying at the moment, but you want to be in good spirits and not too tight before you go into the match. Otherwise, you might be a bit stiff on the pistol round and maybe things won't go the right way. So, I mean, you can focus on your strategy going into the first initial rounds, what your plan is, what you expect from them. If you're having a player on your team is matching up with a player on their team, then you may just be reinforcing habits you've seen from your opponent and what you want them to do against that kind of thing. So it can be one of the two things, hard strategy or just a jolly and be a bit distracted before you go into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, perfect. Well, gentlemen, I am looking forward to this match. This is actually our final match of a busy 4th weekend on Counter-Strike competition. Here is the action from a little earlier on. The day started with Reason and Prophecy both looking to bounce back from a defeat last week.
some damage. Csgo peek out. Hoodlum retaliates, finds the headshot so close. As he finds another kill once again, it's all left in the hands of Mace.
Ultimately, it was Prophecy who took victory 2-0.
Pickles gets overrun, it's Connor delivering, and Boaster there to follow up as well.
The second match was nip and tuck between Excel and Endpoint.
That was lovely. These guys are working together. The synergy is sexy. Should be having a chance here, and he does get shut down.
They couldn't be split, and it finished in a draw, 1 map each.
What shenanigans he can bring into the table, eventually take him down though. Absolutely uncontested at that point, but luckily enough they will respond so swiftly. Stanley actually does find one headshot.
There was some great CSGO play today. Listen, the final game of the day saw Envious continue their unbeaten record. Method put up a good fight, but Envy were too strong and are still yet to lose a single map in the competition. As you can see, the standings right in front of us with Team Envious at the top with 12 points and Reason Gaming at the bottom with 1 point. We will see who out of Epsilon and Infused is able to climb the table at the end of tonight with our live action just a few moments away.
Okay, so while the players get set up and prepared, it gives myself and Jackie enough time to explain to you guys exactly what you can see on the screen. So here we go, starting from the top, Jackie.
So obviously if we work our way down, as you said, at the top, this is where a lot of your important statistical information is going to be.
Okay.
Everything's in one little tight package, so you see the number at the top here. This is going to be the timer that shows you how long is left in the round that is currently going on. Below that is the overall rounds that have been played. Right now, 2 out of 30. 30 being the number of rounds that there are in total. So you need 16 to win the game, and that's why that's listed like that. Obviously, if we move below that as well, the equipment value is slap bang there straight after. This number is a lot bigger, and that is because if you look down on the team of Prophecy, which are represented with a nice little yellow here, that are playing as the T's right now, they have a lot more to play with in their arsenal. They have free weapons, they've also got sidearms and utility, which are things like flashbang, smoke grenades, stuff like that that allows them more of a tactical edge rather than just raw firepower. They also have their Kevlar and their helmet. You can also see on Arch the bomb there, which he is currently planting in-game. Meanwhile, over on Reason, they don't have as much. It's only Cinder who's got the CZ, the UMP, and the armor. So obviously that's nowhere near as much as what they've brought to the table. So the number is a lot lower, and that will go down every time someone dies as well. So the reason that they have so much more is obviously they've only lost 2 players out of the 5 they start off with, and that's why you can see these players here represented with the skulls rather than the 100 HP that the other players have.
Okay, so you just mentioned him planting the bomb here, and obviously that is in the T-side's colour. What we can see is sort of like an X-ray vision, but they can't see that.
No, not in game. So this is more to give people a better view of what is going on in the battlefield. So obviously with Arch, currently planting the bomb here, he is behind cover. So Cinder, in his own eyes, whilst he's playing, he will not be able to see this. But for everyone else's benefit at home, we can see it to give us more of an idea of what exactly is going on there.
Okay, brilliant. All right, moving on to the maps, which is in a bird's eye view here, and obviously this is the location that they're playing on. Why is that needed?
So this is sort of, as you said, your bird's eye view, top down. It gives you a better understanding of where everything is situated. The map they're on right now is Mirage. There's multiple maps to actually play, and we're going to see lots of those when we get down in the show tonight. And this is one of them that's actually a very good demonstration. Obviously, towards the A bomb site, where everything's going down right now in this scene, this is going to be A. You have 2 bomb sites per map. There's B as well. That's where a lot of the action is going to be going down. They're trying at the T side's trying to get the bomb plants. The CTs are trying to stop that and get the defense off and try and retake the round. You've also got CT spawn here, which is where they're going to start from, and T spawn, which is the same but for the Ts.
Okay, so what is the CT's main aim in game?
Essentially for the CTs, what they want to do is stop all of the Ts or defuse the bomb.
Okay, and that is it, your explanation there. Sorted.
This is very exciting. Our last matchup of the day is Epsilon versus Infused. It is a great matchup. What can we expect from the maps? It's very important. You know, we understand how good these players are and the teams, but the map makes that difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I was speaking to Red Snake and Neil before the game, before the veto even, and they were actually saying they pretty much know exactly what the two maps are going to be. They were that confident, they were just like, it's going to be this, Mirage and Inferno. They were just straight up, just like, no arguments. I was just like, kind of confident.
That is very confident.
Yeah.
Because both teams get to veto a map, say, I don't want to play that one, they say, I don't want to play that one, and then eventually it whittles down to the two that you want.
Have the thought process that it's definitely going to be certain two maps of 7. It's quite unlikely, isn't it, really? Like,
so this is the moment we can see right now that they're flip the coin. There's the classic Neil M. He said, oh, Epsilon have banned Nuke.
Yeah, so they've banned Nuke in 2 of the 3 weeks so far. That's not much of a surprise. I believe online they ban it pretty much 90% of the time as well, so it's not much of a surprise, really.
Yes, common teams will have one map that they always ban as well, and they'll play 6 maps instead of all 7 in the pool because you're stretched a bit too thin if you try to play everything.
Makes it harder for practice and stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, Infused on Overbus, not much of a surprise either. That's the map that Epsilon played last week, and they've been quite good on it as well. Cobble away from Infused, not much of a shocker. They played it quite well. Mirage pick from Epsilon, meaning cash gets left over. Mirage Inferno, it's exactly what Neil and Red Snake did say that would happen.
So this is definitely the 2 maps that will be played tonight, as we can see in green there, Mirage and Inferno. And that's what Neil and Red Snake said would happen. How did they know? Just a guess. I mean, obviously, as James was saying, you've got those teams that want to ban certain maps. So, I mean, Mirage, Inferno, the first matchup is going to be Mirage. So what can we expect from that map today?
Mirage is a nice open map, so we can expect to see the sniper rifles coming into play. But we've seen it earlier today. There were lots of fakes being offered by teams on the T side, and we might see that from Epsilon having chosen that map. They should have something up their sleeve in that regard.
And what are the key sort of areas for the Mirage, that map?
Well, Mirage is quite focused on mid. Obviously, I mentioned this before. It's Smooya specifically loves going around mid, just coming out, peeking everything. He's a very confident guy. He'll want to peek everything, get the kill, get every kill he can, basically. Yeah. So mid is the main presence, really.
Okay, I'm going to do it because I feel like it would only be necessary. You're the experts, the analysts, the panel, the guys that know everything. So I'm going to go straight to Csgo. Prediction for this map, Mirage. Who are you going to go for?
I think it'll be closer than expected, but still an Epsilon win.
Okay. That was short and sweet there. James, give me more. I need more from you.
As their own pick, I would think, well, normally I would say that I would expect them to be more prepared for the map they've picked, right? But it seems that Infused knew what maps to expect, so maybe they are as prepared. But I'm gonna pick Epsilon anyway. Okay. But you never know, really. I mean, Infused might surprise us.
This is the beauty of CSGO. What I'm gonna do right now, why not? I can do it. I'm going to walk over. Look at me, saunter over here. Now, the gentleman over there, Csgo and James, both say that they are thinking Epsilon. Can you possibly see Infused sneaking 1 map out of this, maybe 2?
So the only way in which I see that happening is if Infused have indeed been doing their homework, which of course they've kind of already alluded to on the desk, because Epsilon are a team with structure. Admittedly, they've had some of their core players ripped from them for you know, the greener pastures, but they are still at the Epsilon that we know. They've got even some, you know, hard-hitting UK players. Smooya is a name that's popped up a lot. So if you really want to kind of cause an upset, if you really want to be, you know, the Infused that have just gone and grabbed some big names from, you know, various local scenes and actually found some success, you have to have been sitting there. You actually have to know what you're expecting. If you know what the maps are, you should have done your homework.
Okay, so should have done the homework. What he's managed to do there is not say whether Infused are going to win that machine. I noticed that.
He
got away with it.
Isn't he?
I'll tell you what I do.
He's giving you a lot.
I won't take any predictions from you. I'm just going to leave it in your capable hands. Pansy, Machine, I'll see you in a second. Enjoy this map.
Much love, dude.
Well, you know what, Alex? I'm going to throw you under the bus. Give me a name.
Paul, that's a name. Mirage, that's a name of a map.
One of these 2, Alex. I'm not having this. Epsilon or Infused?
Epsilon are going to be taking this map. And as you do take a saunter through Mirage, as Tom did the stage, you'll see some of the call-outs you want to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's something to just be aware of how the map plays out. But we can highlight this throughout the game as where those kind of choke points are, where we can expect the game to unfold more than often, and you see the action really go down. What are the vital moments within this sort of game? Because we said it before, it's been highlighted. Smooya is one of those players that can be a difference maker. But the thing is, all right, we've heard the bark. It's pretty loud. Where's the bite to follow it up? This guy, you know, he's got the attitude. He's got it all. He's one of those people who, you know, you either love him or you hate him. A bit of a Marmite player. You either like that sort of attitude.
I love Marmite.
Me too, you know. It's
or any other yeast product on the toast.
But no, he's one of those that will, separate people. Whether you like the approach to it, that confidence, that kind of cockiness, or you don't. You want someone humble. You want someone who's, a little bit quieter. But if he goes off, if he gets unleashed, then you've got trouble. That's where Epsilon win this game, if they have to unleash him.
And just to kind of put that into perspective, you heard from him, and in case you have missed the start and the prelude to this match, there was an interview where you heard him saying, there is not a single team here that should be able to take a map off us in a best of 3.
Well, he said earlier today as well, I'm pretty tired today. This game's going to be easiest thing.
2-0.
Yeah, he's one of those players. And if you're on the other side, if you're on Infused, you get annoyed at that. You get frustrated. You get flustered. You're meant to have this kind of sportsmanship and this sort of attitude. But this guy, he doesn't care for that. He likes being the villain.
And I'm cool with that. I totally am. And I don't.
There he is.
Yep, there's the aforementioned man. But I don't think that's not a bad thing to have in this kind of environment. If you don't have confidence, we talk about it, we rattle on about it time after time, cast after cast, that playing with a lack of confidence is such a hindrance to your play. It's agonizing to see a player that doesn't want to commit to a decision. And I mean, that's in every sport and in every game.
Well, we are underway. It will be Team Infused starting on that T side, the attacking side. They have 2 players with utility, so Red Snake and MCK. Both have smokes and flashbangs, so they can try and cut up this map how they like. Yeah. They can, cover vision. They can allow avenues of approach. But now look at Epsilon on the other side. This is lovely. As a defending side, they're going for info. But don't you tell me that Fry is aware of this. He is.
Somebody has done the homework, and he's going to get the head. Surely not a second one. He's expecting it. Who expects that? Fry certainly manages to draw first blood and make a little bit of an eyebrow-raising play. CT's pushing towards T-spawn, and there's still 70 seconds left on the round. Not your most standard of plays, but they expected it, and now Barbar expected that. Red Snake's head starts to roll, and now Barbar looking to try and make a second, but not just yet. MCK seeks cover.
Look on the bomb. Look at these 2 players. The 2 players who currently hold the bomb as Trials. Now, they've actually got up short. They're going to get a bomb plant out of this on the B bomb site. So this is incredible for them. They were in a losing situation there. Lacking numbers, lacking position. Now they've got a good plant, and they've got good off-plant positions. Look at this. Trials going to come in and find 1. Now, Freddy's a little further ahead. He needs to hit the brakes slightly, otherwise he can be picked apart. But no, he lands a shot, one of the highest performing players thus far. Can he do it again?
A lot of people expected to see Freddy be the one that was purged as the Swedish teams went hunting, but still he stands, and still he frags. 2 versus 2, another. As we're starting to see somewhat of a trend in this round 2 for Freddy. Barbar fakes it out. He's going to try and draw the fire, draw the push, and indeed they deliver. The defuse kit is present and therefore cuts the defuse time in half. 5 seconds to defuse it, and we have the first round on the board for those defensive side.
And this is also the thing I wanted to highlight. Even if Infused did do their homework, they watched over the demos, they watched it back, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be just better than that player in that situation. When it came to it, the retake, once that bomb was planted, the time ticks down favorably to the attackers. That all switches to their favor. So now, with Epsilon playing back in, you saw what Freddy B he could do, and I still think he's an incredibly talented player. Couple him with Barbar, you've got a very dominant duo. Unleash Shmuya, another great addition. Shmuya, to me, I want to see more from him. He's only got a USPS here, so again, he's not upgraded his weaponry at all.
He's opted for a full armor and the kit. That's the team player alongside Freddy. Now, we mentioned what the defuse kits do earlier, but worth bearing in mind that because of that first round when you're going to see very little investment from Infused, this is more of a case of get a kill, maybe get a bomb plant. That's their objective here, and here they come. It's going to be a swarm of opponents for Maeve and Co to deal with, but Cosmine and Smooya even with USP. That is going to be as clean as you like. A little bit of damage done, but nothing to write home about, and that will be the 2-0 start.
Clean as a whistle. For Infused now, you just want to try and get in their heads as soon as you can, because you don't want to let that confidence build up. That's the last thing you want. They start feeling good about it, they start feeling their game out, you start to lose that confidence, that momentum, you start feeling like, oh, maybe this isn't it, maybe the map choice wasn't great. We'll see. Smooya's on the AWP now, so keep eyes on that. That's the sniper rifle they're talking about, where this map can play really nicely with it, or pretty much almost all the time, 1 shot, 1 kill. So keep your eyes on that. You can tag with it, but this is the aggression again.
Again, and partners in crime, look at this. 2 men holding hands, and they're about to get face full of MCK. Look at that. Nice expectation from him, and a double as well. That's a huge hindrance coming into this 3rd round. Now, by conceding the 2nd round with very little investment, it enables them to come into this one all guns blazing. 4 AKs and a Galil. Slightly limited rifle, but still works and will be used by Red Snake.
But they're not relenting. Look at Epsilon. They want the information so they can put themselves in the right place even with limited numbers.
Smart.
But the problem is they might be a little late to this. We'll see how they respond here. Smooya needs to pull himself back towards A just in case. He's correct in doing so. Freddy got the information, pushing through underpass, and now the support of Cosmine is coming in. But they still have to deal with 5 players. They're drastically outnumbered here, Alex. I don't know if this one's going to go very well. They'd need a huge individual performance from one of the 3 players remaining.
Well, Smooya and Cosmine are going to be the first on the scene. There's already a flank coming in from Freddy B, but he will be too late. One connection from Smooya. Needs at least a second on the crosshair, and it's going to be given to him. No! Doesn't connect, and therefore the bomb will go down. Suddenly, they're going to go ahead and take full control of this round. Freddy on the hunt, and he's going to meet Aaron's AK. Now, the problem starts to get a little too far out of hand. Cosmine knows where Trials is, but he can't seem to connect just yet. Does so eventually through the box. And this is horrible for Smooya. He knows where he is, but he cannot find the shot. There is a wallbang available. Not quite going to find it. This is that X-ray we were talking about. Now the head does roll. 2 versus 2, but time's a problem, Lauren.
And they're not watching Palace. This gets scary now. Aaron's position's noted, but Fry swings out at the right time. They played the crossfire incredibly well, and an integral round there. Without getting that into pocket, money would start looking good for the defending side, the CTs. Everything would start to build. And for Infused, now it feels possible. Now it feels like, great, we read that aggressive play, handled it perfectly. You get to see it again here. MCK, so well done. Barbar there was just trying to watch his mates back, but he just got outdone, couldn't turn in time, and that's the play I want to see from Infused. Smart, concise, and to the point.
But the question I have to raise, as we do head into some degree of a half by 2 rifles, an SMG, and some pistols for Epsilon, is I don't know many teams that would expect that push. Evidently, we talked about homework. They've done some degree of preparation as to what the boys from Epsilon will be doing. Double man push twice.
Look at Palace right now.
And there is some extra aggression. If they're not doing it in tunnel, they're doing it in Palace.
And it should free up some of the other Epsilon players. Basically, they can try and put players into the right place. He can hear a lot of information here. But the problem is they can't take direct fights. The only real players with like big weaponry that can do lots of damage, in theory, is Cosmine and Freddy B. Everyone else is trying to work with a lot less than the other side. So they're going to have to try and find a way to be incredibly relevant to this. But Infused have taken over mid, and that's a vital part. And they're putting so much faith in the information Smooya's gathered that they might just look towards B, but they've left mid open.
And that's my concern. Connector. If one player, just one man, MCK for example, who is closest to it, takes a walk, but then talking of walking, Smooya spots him, frags him. Trials zipped up in a body bag and given an AK for his trouble. That is serious now. We can see that MCK is going to be given no information whatsoever.
And I'm wondering how Infused read this now. Do they go back towards A? Oh, MCK, that is a absolute blinder of a shot. But this is the defense. This is the castle that Epsilon had built. And look at Infused, they can't get in. They're down to 26 seconds in this round. Aaron's trying to put up numbers, but it doesn't seem to matter. It's only MCK operating. And he has to find the last 2 players now. They're banking on the time, and it's Cosmine there. And that's a round you want to remember if you're Epsilon. They put so much faith in one man, and they went to the right bomb site, and it worked out for them. But also, if you're Infused, why didn't you test the waters a little bit further towards middle? They seemed hesitant. They got mid-control. They had that issue with Smooya getting that 1 kill, and then they just rushed towards B.
So my eyes are drawn to Trials. His responsibility was to lurk A. Lurk, of course, means waiting behind the pack and getting information or flanking as the round comes to a close. He didn't manage to push out. He was still sitting, I mean, with no information. Maybe just a quick eye towards ramp, try box, something, in order to get that call out. Communication and information is everything in this game. And now, Cosmine's going to get a boatload of it in his face. Look at this, 4 men pushing towards him. He already managed to take down 1. And those sidearms are starting to sing.
Oh, that's not a flash you want to be reliving there. Maybe getting that one a little fluffed. Fluff his lines. Aaron with a great shot. That's impressive. But Smooya's here again. And he does not want to stop. Look at this man. Living up to reputation for now. He finally gets quelled. Now down to the 2v2. Freddy B and Barbar. The duo that you can normally depend on often more than not. So now Aaron has to try and make it back over. Try and get to that bomb. Or maybe MCK can do it. One of the two needs to make the move now.
Lovely use of nades as well. Taking some of the health off Aaron without a single bullet fired, down to 23. 1 bullet of the AK would finish the job, and ooh, not far off seeing in there Freddy. 1 hiding on bench. MCK, though, could thrive in this situation. Freddy does. Aaron down, and now MCK, this is an opportunity to make it a 1v1. Timing and absolutely perfect for the Swede, and we do see 4-1. Intuition and a little bit of luck brings home another.
I love Barbar's positioning then too, working his way through the B apartments, coming around the back on the flank. And basically, if you're Freddie B's position, you just need to stay alive. You don't expect to be challenged by 2. The first, you could see he was ready for. He was kind of maybe expecting a little bit of a fight there. The second, he handled very well with an adjustment. But that's broken the money of Infused now, Alex, and they're kind of back down to pistols here. So this is where things can spiral away. You start losing all those rounds. We're seeing, again, that aggression coming out from Epsilon. And
something that is worth discussing as we do kind of go through a round that should amount to nothing for Team Infused is that comebacks are so possible in Counter-Strike. Yeah. You know, it's very easy, and I used to fall into the trap when I was first visiting, you know, Counter-Strike. You see 9-1, and you just kind of accept that this game is over. Admittedly, it can feel like it when you concede rounds and frags like that. 3 quick ones from Smooya, and that's $600 per kill, courtesy of the SMG. May do less damage, but you get more money for those kills, and now this is just going to be a walk in the park. Fry and MCK, you've got nothing to work with, no hope, and the 5th is delivered to Epsilon, blood-free. Yeah, and you can see a little quiet on the Infused side, not quite as pumped up. If you hear the arena here, you can kind of normally get the feeling behind it. The man that obviously everyone likes to talk about, the coach behind him, he's an incredibly emotional player, emotional coach too. So if he's getting frustrated, if he's not talking as much, if he's not getting them pumped up, if he's not behind them, they start feeling that weight too. But you look on the other side, a composed team. To a degree, things could change on that one, but again, here we go. Team Infused, decent bias, Smooya playing in towards middle. Is that a failed smoke? A gap there is so exploitable.
It's just, for me, it's just one of the mid smokes. I don't think it's necessarily a failed one.
There is a way in which to have no gap.
Because he did the jump very quickly over, and there's always going to be a small angle for most of the smokes, but it's very, very tricky to be that precise. But if he keeps exploiting that, if he keeps going there and getting the information, because Maeve did it before.
It's a hard jump to hit.
Exactly, it's not easy to do. Like he's being rewarded for very, very talented moves there, but they might need to address that. And look at the double facing towards window. Again, small pieces, that lovely pop flash through the window there. It's really nice. These small adjustments to CT sides make it look very nice so far, but the move hasn't been made by Infused. They're still fine. They're still sitting pretty.
Yeah, the Vikings and their double peak. Not something that's been said in the history books too much, but still. So, Freddie B, now timing is everything. Gets one, now does he choose to commit? That's the problem. Aaron, swift to trade, his crosshair finds the head, and now a second is on the cards, and Aaron strikes again. A lot of UK players, when discussing best players in the scene, his name is on the top of some of their lists. Aaron. Double A. Amazing. Awesome. Alex, whatever you want to call him.
But this is where Infused had issues before. They hesitated almost. They took a little too much time. But right now they have one of 2 options. And now Cosbean spotted it out. That's the bomb down. 20 seconds remain. The fire comes in. He finds cover. A quick flashbang to allow himself room to work as the support arrives. Fry, they're going to break through. CT is now clear. It's covered. Smoke goes in. Bomb is planted. And it's Smooya to play out this retake.
Turning away from that flash does stop its vision inhibiting. Now Smooya, he's taking his time, and it looked like it was on him. Must have just whistled past the ear of Trials on site, and that was his way in. That was his 1v1.
Molly.
He does have a nade. That will force him out of position if it's positioned correctly, and Trials does go wide. He gets what he wants, and a little bit more, as Trials is going to connect with that AK, and I can't help but feel Smooya hits that shot on Trials, we've got a real 1v1 on our hands.
No, I completely agree. Yeah. That could have changed things, but you could see him was getting frustrated. I think he thought that shot was on too. He was looking for the tiniest pixel out of place, and then just, you don't land it.
I wonder if we get to see that again. We'll at least get to see what Aaron did with that. Look at that. Immediate reposition. That was Trials' return onto Smooya.
And this is the discussion time. You can see the coach getting involved here, having a chat, talking it through. So he gets to see everything. He gets to see every player's perspective in his team. He gets the bigger picture. So hopefully he can maybe bring a little something in. But overall, it doesn't come down to him at the end of the day. It's the guys at the PCs. It's them who has to action all of this. And so far, they've started to maybe get a better grip on how to handle the Epsilon side. Maybe that's the adjustment they were looking for, is how do we find a little bit of an avenue of approach? How do we deal with the aggression? Do we just default, which is essentially just holding those positions across the map, covering most avenues of approach quite passively, and then work our way back in, or does that give up too much? It's finding that balance is quite hard.
I think what needs to be discussed when on the kind of the trail of thought of coaches is the idea of tendencies. How players and teams who play this game, they have personality as well. It is not just playing the game as you would walking through a particular map. No, it's much more than that. There is a personality, there is flair. And as a coach, you can see all 5 monitors at the same time. You can go through and watch the VODs of videos like this in the past to see exactly how these players play. And what on earth? This looks quick. Nope, they hit the brakes.
They're still going to go fast, I feel. As soon as that mid player gets to a certain position, once Red Snake gets there, They're going to go. Smooth's looking for this,
Surely
though. He's
not.
making noise. He's trying to bait them into this, but Aaron's... Oh, it's just fed Freddie B everything, and Barbar, the Swede, waits in the background, and this has fizzled to nothing from Infused. Where's the cohesion? Where's the plan? Where's the tactics? That just fell apart.
What is that call, though? Double CT ramp close? Smooya with a deagle, Freddie B behind him. They are going in pairs. They're like little death squads. They just walk around. Underpass. We've seen them push everything as this little duo, and they're singing and dancing while doing it.
Little death squads is the most adorable yet scary thing in the world. I just see
Little
little, like,
death
very,
squads.
like, you know, aggressively, like, goth-styled cupcakes just, you know, running around.
Cupcakes with legs and eye makeup.
Loads of eyeliner.
And if they had hands, they would have painted their fingernails black.
Absolutely.
Anyway, on a little acid trip, we've returned to the game, and Epsilon and Infused are about to go ahead and continue to butt heads. The advantage lies with Epsilon. 3 players to 2. Fry has taken damage down to about half health. However, he does have that orb. That's a way in. Long-distance fights made easy. You can see he's on the hunt from him in towards that palace area.
As soon as they put down this Molotov, Epsilon are going to start reading into this more and more and more. Fry can open this up, though. 20 seconds, they need to go fast. That is taken against them. They put down the smoke towards the jungle side. Denied vision from May. But they're down to what? 17 seconds. They need to go. They need to find a kill and fast. He can't get the bomb plant. This is a huge denial. Good positioning from Maeve. And Fry can't land a thing. Outdone, outplayed, and locked down. But frustration, I can imagine. For Infused, you don't expect that sort of defense. Smooya up close, as said, with the deagle. But Freddy was basically played into that. Smooya, get in there. Don't worry about it. Do what you can. Get the attention. Freddy perfectly positioned on it.
But it is crazy to see these interactions. Two men push underpass, and 2 men are there to greet them. 4-man ramp, 4-man for the first time. They push 4 of their 5 players up ramp, and there's 2 CTs waiting at the precipice of that smoke. It's just, it feels like Epsilon are completely in Infused heads. I don't know how they're making these calls, but if I'm Infused, I'm frustrated. Back on the eco then. You can see the absence of that shield and helmet symbol. Means no armor and more damage to be done.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely ruined. That was lovely from Infused, really just bulldozering their way towards the site. All they want is a bomb plant, really. MCK is going to have to try and fight one off before he get the chance, and no, Smooth's there in the end, and there was dancing with Cosmine, so it was a matter of time. 3 alive now for Epsilon, so they keep their money looking pretty decent at this point. And on the other side, there's Barbar as well. A bit of a figurehead within this team as well, a voice of reason almost. And you can see, he used to be a bit of an AWPer too. He's got a man of many talents. And actually, speaking of that, he's got the AWP right now. Double AWP comes out. Both of them can now afford it. So Smooya primary. Barbar, where does he take his? Actually, he might just go for a quick mid play. That flash almost sets it up perfectly. He is. He's going to have a little linger down towards middle. Sees nothing. And again, it's Freddie B.
Oh, Freddie, you are so cheeky. He should not be there that early. It is such a gamble. He's rolling the dice. And this time, looks like it's going to be coming up. Pair of 6s. Tags. Aaron's going to get the first. Freddie's going to surely see that. No, into the smoke they go. How has this happened? 2 are on the site, and he hasn't managed to get a single frag. Infused are going to get mowed down, at least for 1. MCK was trying to do something and shuts down Cosmine before the damage gets too rife, but Infused with very little. They have the armor, but they did not have the rifles in abundance. Have managed to convert this into a very winnable round. 4 versus 2. Yes, the HP is not ideal, but options severely limited. Face 2 at the same time and kill them both. Good luck, have fun. Sandwich down. 1 Tetris needs to peek now. They're worried about that bomb repositioning. And it's 1v3 to end this one. Smooya, you're surely down and out of this one. Time is not your friend, Smooya. Tries to pretend to defuse that bomb, and he's going to get another one. Smooya, you need to stop. He does. Fry is the one to take the wind from his sails, but good God, did it not get close.
And that was sloppy from Epsilon. Not liking the way they approached that. Freddy's positioning is what it is. You try and do your best. You're in a 1v5. You're not going to do much. Maybe you get the information, trade 1 for 1. That's fine. Barbar got caught out there with the AWP. First time we really got to see it, and I was singing his praises, but he got a little caught out there, deagled down, and then you saw the player in towards the darker corner in towards A. Again, caught out a little bit, so it was a little bit sloppy. And Infused, you give them a chance, of course they're going to take it. They need that. They need the round on the board. We're closing in towards that first half, so it all becomes very, very important. That nade and the damage factor, lovely.
Oh, this should just be an absolute slaughterhouse. Aaron, he's only seen 2 of the 4 kills he's got so far. three, do excuse me, Red Snake stealing one of them away from him, but just spraying through that smoke, understanding where their money stands and what options are available to them does mean frags like that can happen. It's going to be Fry. One bullet, one kill. It's all they need, and even getting that bomb down, a little bit of extra cash for the bomb planter. And now Infused, they're kind of getting well, Epsilon are getting a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah.
You're getting that horrible eco. Potentially, if they lose this buy, suddenly we're in a completely level game.
Exactly. No,
they have one round now, and look at the buy. It's not ideal. You've got 2 SMGs, only 1 kit, so keep your eyes on Maeve. Should he lose that kit in an unideal location, suddenly that bomb is a 10-second defuse.
Do Infused do something a little different? Yeah, they are. They're going to go for a B, and I like this. Keep Epsilon on their toes. You don't expect this. Is a very all-in play. See how they use this one. They've got all the utility in the world, all the Molotovs, flashes, smokes. There's no indication of this across the map. We haven't seen that patented CT aggression from Epsilon this time, or not so much. Maeve could be in for a bit of a surprise here. All flashed. That is huge. Nade comes in. That is going to do a world of damage. Look at that. It tears him apart. He falls back, but support is there. They've got help now on the scene. Oh, Cosmine, patience is his virtue. He chooses his time to strike, and he strikes well, but Fry is there. Back and forth we go. Down to Barbar and Smooya now. And it's a 2v3.
And here they go again. MCK caught out with a flashbang, and another body drops. It's going to be Smooya to close that one down. They didn't have the dream money, but they did have Maeve. He had a flashbang, he had a nade. That's $500. And he used it to perfection. Killed one, lowered the other HP so that UMP and that M4 work oh so more effectively. Glorious work, and you have Barbar and Smooya who push in as a unit to finish it.
And the confidence to do that, just go right in through the window. That's kind of swung us right back around. Still not brilliant for Epsilon, money-wise, they're still not perfect. You still have the UMP, but it doesn't really matter. You've got rounds on the board, and you're frustrating Infused. And that's a frustration play from Aaron, just straight up middle. No one there to really do much else. So he's going to take that all day. Oh, I've annoyed you enough that you're doing this? Perfect. This plays into me even better. So again, he can back down now, leave the rest of middle up to whoever they want. And Fry go try and make an individual play, but Barbar's there to be played in. Very difficult now for Infused to kind of consolidate themselves and find an approach.
Players with a heart on their sleeve are more prone to plays off the cuff. You can put that on Tumblr, I just made that up.
Oh, it's got my vlog right now.
Yeah. Still. Bombs loose towards T-spawn. You can see the rest of the players have made far too much progress for that bomb's location. It means that they are operating with just 2 players versus 5, and it doesn't take a genius to realize just how stacked the odds are against them, but shots like that, and another! Fry is starting to make this possible, but Barbar, he's pushed up on Sandwich Corner, and there's almost no chance. They check it, no. Trials is too worried about jungle, but Fry strikes again. This is 3, and now just 1 man left. Freddy and MCK. Great control from Freddy, eventually does render the kill, and we're into a 1 versus 1. This is when the brains are at play. A game of chess takes place in the next 30 seconds of Counter-Strike.
MCK, you can see him looking for the opponent, trying to find where Freddy B went, get the information, get whatever he can, but Freddy's doing the same. Round and round we go, both players trying to tease each other out of position, and MCK might have been outplayed on this one. Freddy's going to wait for the bomb plant, but no, MCK goes for a safe plant. Now Freddy could wallbang this, but that gives away your position straight away. Freddy doesn't know where this bomb's exactly planted, but he's going to find out right about now. MCK lands the required shot and keeps Infused in this game.
And Infused find their vocal cords. An eruption from one side of the stage here in London. It's been a long time. 13 rounds, 14 rounds into this one. And finally they find their lungs. Well, I assume they were breathing, but they find those decibel levels and raise them here in London. And indeed, talking of breathing, a sigh of relief, no doubt, as they find 5. A couple more, and you've got a respectable first half here on Mirage.
Yeah, it's starting to look very competitive. Now, I don't know if we can apply the logic of previous matches where it's very T-sided generally. I don't think that's necessarily the case here. I think you're going to see a far more even game. This is a very good recovery from Infused, even though they have been pushed and broken and bullied around a bit. They've recovered really well. And now, Maeve did so perfectly before. Surely this can't happen again. This guy seemed to play it off perfectly. He does get caught out this time. Aaron, going to be just a little too aware. A bit of a veteran is Aaron, so he's not going to fall for that sort of nonsense. Smooya, though.
It's a scary peak to take for Aaron. He knows.
Let's see what you can do.
So by throwing the nade, he's already told them, if they're in there, I'm coming for you. And he does. 1 bullet is all it takes. And Smooya, perhaps, a little salty about that one. Just 3 remain. There was no indication of Smooya's position prior to that, by the way. That is exclusively Aaron using the process of elimination and a whole lot of experience. Now then, their opportunities now are not to win the round. Instead, they're looking to do damage, economical damage at that. Take a weapon away, perhaps scavenge one for yourself, upgrade from, you can see Barbar equipped with just a pistol. Something to make the next round easier on you. Instead, you can see, again, this Epsilon pairing thing. Admittedly, that's a save, but it is a recurring trend. These, you know, let's use the previous game earlier on today here, week 4 of the Gfinity Elite Series, where we saw players dying untraded, alone. You know, there's a couple of examples that spring to mind. I don't think we've seen Epsilon in a scenario like that yet.
Not so much. And considering a lot of people put these guys as, you know, individuals, quote unquote, you know, talented individuals, that can be quite a problem.
Sure.
If you have players who do that. But they're very aware of how they need to succeed, and it's very apparent. Now we're going to see that aggression towards ramp again. This time with Barbar and Freddie B, the Swedish duo, going to town here. And it's a good read, but it's through Palace this time, so a slightly different approach, but it's going to hinder one of the approaches here. They can't fully come through this way. I like this from Freddie, going to deny one of the avenues of approach, and Barbar now starts to kick into gear. Aaron and Trials get absolutely shredded, but it's still a 3v3. Now Infused have the site into somewhat of a piece of control. They start to put up the smoke walls, they start to deny vision. They still don't have that bomb down just yet, Alex.
One of the most agonizing ways to die in Counter-Strike is as you opt for a fresh magazine, trying to reload and just having to accept your fate as they converge on your location. Still, the bomb hasn't gone down, so you'll know when it does. That clock will disappear. So with 60 seconds left on the round, it's time to shave some time off. Fry gets the bomb down, but Epsilon are drawing more and more blood. It's just one man left. Red Snake completely caught out of position. It's a pistol, and that is a knock to the confidence. Lauren, no argument. Infused could have done a whole lot more there.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but if you ever have someone like Smooya alive, he wants to make those plays. He has a CZ, so he has that chance. You know, it's a lesser weapon. You can kind of go for that.
Sure.
So he can expend his life to allow the other two players to come in. And they did that perfectly. They were able to kind of supplement and complement it well. But you can see Smooya here, playing the edge of the smoke. He's looking for opportunities. He gets gifted that, and he even gets the one to follow later. There's the teammates coming in for the kill, and now look at that fight. He's so confident, and it shows in his gameplay, and he lives up to it. Joe, I would have been his biggest critic if he came into this and just didn't deliver. But this guy, he's showing a lot of what people were kind of, you know, hyping up. But we are on the half now. Things are going to be turning over to the next side, to the next half. And, well, I don't know what to expect from this one. It's a lot closer than I expect. I think Infused, when they win rounds, it looks very convincing. But the same can be said for Epsilon. It's quite a weird balance.
So expectations were set very high for Epsilon. Yes. A team that we're looking to see succeed, you know, to the highest degree here in the Elite Series. Infused are in a similar category, however, painted as the underdog within this matchup. And yet, when they do succeed, it looks great. It's consistency that does seem to be somewhat of the issue. As we dive into the half change, Epsilon previously forced to defend for the previous 15 rounds, and now given the opportunity to attack. They will be bringing the fight. They will decide where that bomb is taken, A or B. You see them in that top left corner. Those are the choices given to them, and it's Infused's job now to stop them.
Now, Barbar's showing presence towards middle. He put a smoke down there himself at the very start of the game. And now you can see them hitting towards the A side just to ensure that they're turning attention elsewhere. And now he can play a bit of a backstab role almost. He has Cosmine in the same position, but look at this aggression coming out from Freddie B, trying to take the control towards that CT side where they're trying to stay alive, and Trials falls as Aaron tries to pick up the mantle, and he will succeed. A one for trade. Oh, that's a shot and a half. Smooya's head just rolls as it's Cosmine trying to play it back in now.
Whilst his head may roll, I think his eyes will too. Nothing you can do about a frag like that. Aaron just so quick on the trigger. Crosshair perfectly placed, and Cosmine from behind. It's a hard shot to hit, but Fry, a 180, and now keep your eyes on Maeve. Not going to be able to do a single thing, and a roar erupts from Infused as the pistol is more than just the first round.
It's the gateway back into these games. When you win that first pistol with your bomb plant, you know, coming in, or, you know, however way it goes down, as long as you win the first one, you get set up with all the additional money that then spirals into the second round, and often the third. Now, it's not too uncommon to see teams turn that around these days. People are getting pretty good at that. So even though you're meant to probably pick up the next two, it can change.
And now you can see an executive decision made. Epsilon, by getting the bomb down, they're not interested in going ahead and just forcing in with perhaps some pistols and some Kevlar. Instead, they make the executive decision to go light. A pistol. P250s is their weapon of choice. A deagle for Smooya, as he wants to try and make some of those more flashy plays. But outside of that, they'll be bringing rifles into the next round. A bomb plant here would be a luxury, would be the dream. And you can see by their rather grouped presence. They realize that the power does rest in numbers. A boost, you can see, teamwork. They can stand on each other's heads, get eye lines they wouldn't otherwise have available to them. Solid.
Alex, teamwork does make the dream work.
And cliches do make me gag.
Not the only thing, so I've heard.
Chocolate, too. Not a big fan.
No. Red Snake. Bit of a veteran for Infused. One of the more kind of established players. You can see he's kind of being toyed with here, and he knows it as well. He knows they're up to something, but will he check to the far left? No, a surprise awaits. A recovered gun, but not much. This is small, sort of, you know, territory here, Alex.
It really is. Trials, though. Finds the head of Barbar. And they're on the prowl towards B. There is going to be 2 players to receive them. You can see one towards bench and one else towards short. It's Fry and MCK. And oh, the crosshair was perfect. Finally does stabilize Freddy B. Comes to save the day as Cosmine was having a bit of a nightmare. And now Freddy, surely not. There is no way he gets the digits in. He's on the last one. He does. He gets the bomb down. We said that was the dream scenario.
And he gets a kill.
Frack. They had nothing. To reiterate, a full buy, the best buy you could possibly have after the pistol round. And they come into that with just sidearms. $300 pistols. They get 3 kills and a bomb plant. That couldn't have gone better. The only way that goes better is if you somehow accidentally win.
Yeah, it is by accident too in those situations. It's so rare, especially with that investment. I do say that teams can turn these sort of events back and forth. It's incredibly rare, and it's either, you know, a mistake that gets punished,
sure,
you know, unforced errors, you know, those sort of things.
And I would typically argue they also feature more structure than that round.
Correct.
If you want to win a second round, there is something you've got up your sleeve. Epsilon, they did it on a defense, and now they do it on attack. Pushing towards tunnel. An avenue between B and middle.
Is it a rug shop on the left?
It's always close, though. Haven't been able to buy a single rug.
That's the worst.
No stranger to buying rugs, Lauren?
Don't need to pay for them normally, Alex.
There it is. 1:20 on the clock. It's always exciting. Sometimes funny to see how those nades are implemented. A second as well. That's going to give Cosmine freedom in the middle. They could choose to boost. We talked about this earlier. Ooh. Into the window they go, and they'll use that smoke to facade and to facilitate Freddy B's hiding corner.
You'd hope that Red Snake this time would be more aware, but that's a lovely position from Fry. Red Snake so tempted to try and help out. Freddy's now struck, so Red Snake's aware. Last time he lost out on this fight with just a pistol. Oh no, the timing!
It was a flashbang.
Red Snake!
In his defense.
He did try and turn it, but oh, Freddy B just... That's the sort of play that...
Was that Freddy's flash? Or was that from a teammate?
That had to have been
it came from nowhere.
Surely. That had to be in a teammate.
I didn't see the trail. Otherwise, you'd have seen it off the wall.
Yeah, it's a little unique. I'd like to watch that one back, see how it really unfolded. But it will be down to MCK here. He's quite isolated too. Pretty tricky situation to play out of.
Okay. Oh, another man drops. Barbar has just added
salt to the wound. Oh no, and MCK's going.
And he's off.
Oh no.
Oh, and as soon as that bomb delivery train arrives on the B-bomb site, MCK, the conductor, is on his lunch break. Epsilon, little cheer from them as they are about to be reaching double digits. MCK's only job now is to preserve. Keep that rifle, keep that investment, and take it into the next round so you can be better equipped for your battle for the 9th. I say that. He's going a little deeper than I would have imagined. Does manage to do some degree of damage. Only going to be the first, though, before Maeve takes him down. I'm not sure if we can bring up the score, but perhaps they are completely rife with funds. That's the justification for that.
We'll have a little look in just a moment's time. You can see. This is it.
Oh, here we go.
B. So he kills one.
No, was there a flash? Oh,
it did.
He threw the flash.
Oh, Red Snake.
Get wrecked. Like, there is nothing more. There was no teamwork in that.
No,
that was 2 players, mouse and keyboard in hand, and the better player won it. Freddy B, not only does he take 1, he takes 2, and in a disadvantageous position. His opponent knew exactly where he was. Freddy didn't. Spectacular. Great work from the Swede. Now 10-8 the score. And you can see that the boot is on the other foot now. Infused are forced into what we would recall, or rather, we would call a half-buy.
Eagles, CZs, 5-7 or 2, but they do have armor. So still, you know, some resilience more than anything. But you can see Epsilon aware that they might want to try and make something happen for themselves and maybe go for an aggressive play, maybe late into the round, but it's not going to happen really. Unless the timing is completely adverse, but Maeve there can have a little tender towards Middle, nade goes in. The nice timing, oh, but the cover's there. Nicely played from Smooya to watch out for Fry, and you can see everyone kind of keeping tabs on all the vulnerabilities, but would you expect Trials here? That's a little naughty position. Apparently, he does.
Freddy was spraying it as well, dude. Epsilon have got a fantastic read of their opponent sometimes. It's almost nonsensical. Like, unless there was an audio cue, or he's done it in every single half-buy round of his career, there is very little to suggest. Perhaps there is more to it. We didn't see how that round did transpire, but still, spectacular reads coming from Epsilon. Now it's time for the monologue. Coach steps in. He's given the mic. He's given the time. And this is where his observations, sometimes his feelings, but most of all, identifying some of those trends that have cropped up over the course of these, 19 rounds of play.
Back in we go. And this is an eco, clean eco from Infused. This is for them to mull over what was just discussed really more than anything. They're not expected to win this round or do damage really. It's kind of a freebie almost. But you want to keep it as clean as possible, especially if you're Epsilon. You don't lose out on those rifles that are so costly to reinvest to. Armor could be tested here actually. A bit of a stack up, 2 players. Oh, that was a little scary, but there we go. Aaron's got himself a rifle. Whether or not he can keep hold of that, we're going to find out. But look where that bomb is, Alex. It's not ideal.
Could not really be further from him unless it was actually on the B bomb site for him. But you can see by cutting noise, by not immediately pushing anywhere. Oh, just as I say that, Epsilon turned their head straight back towards him. No armor, that's the aim punch we were talking about. Makes it all the more difficult. And so another for Epsilon. They are getting closer and closer to the magic number 16 as we are here on Mirage. Epsilon did choose, I believe they chose Inferno. From that graphic, it was on their side, and therefore this is Inferno's, this Mirage is Infused choice.
It's still a very close game. It could still go pretty much any way. Once we get into those full buys, if Infused can stabilize, they're still fine. Molly in towards connector, a fast play from Epsilon here. All that Molotov is spreading, they're in trouble, but MCK stems the bleeding before it really begins. And that's lovely from Fry. While he's burning alive, he tries to make such a fight out of that, and he does.
Fire Fry. Spectacular double. Du hast nicht. Just 2 left for Epsilon. Trials forced off by the fire. Still manages to find an angle that works for him. Fires a couple of warning shots off, just rattling past the ear of Smooya, but he backs up, given an opportunity to recede back towards spawn. And now the question remains, Cosmine, how have you got here? Straight behind Trials, and we'll cut him down into a 2 versus 2. This is where that damage done to MCK could come back to haunt him. 1 point of health.
Yeah, that could really be an issue down the line. As you can see, a bit of a punish. Good work from Cosmine then to try and get into this. MCK, this would have to be nothing less than perfect. Oh, he took the first step, but the second just slipped away from him.
Close, so close. And I mean, by conceding the headshot as well, that health became irrelevant.
Absolutely.
He could have had 100 and would have still died. The power of the AK. It's cheaper. It's 1 bullet to the head kill. And neither of those, of course. It's more expensive, and 2 bullets for the CTs.
Back we go. Infused yet to really get their money going. This is where it starts to really start building problems for them down the line. Don't know how much they'll be able to do in this one. Good approach from MCK there, and Aaron, good work. Working with less, yet still doing as much as they can, trying to cause impact, trying to build up their own funds. Red Snake wants in, and now it becomes a little possible. Oh, that's perfect. Red Snake strikes when he needs to.
Maeve, 12 points of health and a dream. It's Trials from halfway across the map with a pistol. Manages to bring it home, and another roar erupts. It's starting to feel very real for Infused. This win means a whole lot more than the 3 points it would put on the board if they were to pick up both, but it's more than that. It's also the fact that Epsilon, we've talked about it before, confidence in front of the microphone, away from it, in-game.
Red Snake?
And that is a weapon you don't get to see all that often. The auto sniper. Expensive, rewarding. If they run towards him, as they did with versus Maeve in the first half, you can mow them down. Just hold down left mouse and let those 20 bullets fly. But we'll talk about that if it becomes relevant, because right now, Trials is putting Epsilon through their trials and indeed tribulations. 2 down. And Epsilon are forced to work with 3. This is where it becomes difficult to attack. You don't have the tools necessary for a full assault. But
no.
Oh, that's awkward.
From the highest highs to the lowest lows, Red Snake last round did something that pretty much changed the face of that game. This time, not so much so. Freddie B now left on his own there. MCK happily holding that little off angle now. Smooya. 1v3. 1 minute remains. You can sense that pressure. He knows that Aaron wants to make a play happen here, but that smoke is dissipating. He's found an avenue of approach.
There's no way MCK is expecting this. Absolutely none.
Nope. Smooya has a chance at this one, and he's working it out. You can see the brain ticking through, the options becoming apparent, but you might have just heard that one. Oh, Smooya?
Outrageous! A free one! There is no other word to describe it. A free kill. You're given 2 seconds. 2 seconds, 1 elephant, 2 elephant, and you still don't hit the shot. Crosshair must have just been between the legs. Freud may have something to say about that, but not going to get the frag. 13 to 10.
Wow. You don't.
Whew, that's, I mean, yes, even if he gets it, that's a hard round to win. But just in terms of
the easy one out of everything.
That's the freebie, yeah.
And it always does feel like the easy one to miss.
Ones.
Yeah. Give him a nutty shot, sure
that
he'll
quick
land
flick after that outrageous strafe. Every
no
time.
Worries.
Every time.
Guy standing still? Nah.
Yeah, just the way the brain works.
Let's see what Epsilon are up to this round as well. Bomb in Freddy's hand. So, I think this is the double fake. You put Cosmine through, he'll probably die. Then you send the players out palace and back and forth we go. It can happen. We'll see if they actually go for it. It might just not work out that way in the end. And here we go. Flashes. Now Red Snake. He's not meant to win that fight.
There we go.
But now this is where it begins.
So
now they throw the fake. That's what Trials is looking for. They don't see the bomb, though, which could keep them guessing. Good pinch from me. And look at that bomb. Alex, there's the double fake. That is lovely. And look at the kills coming in, too. Oh, they just got outplayed.
Oh, Epsilon are just tugging on the strings and Infused are doing the dance. Fantastic work, and they're hitting the shots that you need to as well. Now, Barbar's pincering in. Aaron is going to be stuck in a sandwich, and Freddy finds another. And that is a round you do not get to see every day. Wonderful execution, and that's when you get to see the other side of Counter-Strike. Sure, you get to see some shots hit, and everyone opens their mouth like a firework, ooh and ah, but there's more to that as well. You get to see that little bit of magic. That was fun. The CTs, you think it's one thing, it's another. And that's when I think a timeout gets called. At least I'd want one. Just like, okay, let's just kind of give us 30 seconds before we have to do this all over again.
Yeah, they're starting to feel it now. Bit of a miss there from Smooya. Aaron's going to punish that every day of the week. That's a free gun they can recover, but Freddy instantly gets back into it, so we're back and forth. Trials wants in on this. He wants that gun, maybe. Fancies a bit of this one. Oh, he's been forced to fire back. Falls into the trap. Doesn't go so well. And now Epsilon have the man advantage. And look at what remains with Infused. What's in their hands? What's in their pockets? The Deagle, the CZ, and there goes the Deagle. Now you're down to the CZ and the UMP. Not much to play with at all here.
Not much at all. I mean, what is that? Kevlar, so that's body armor, and a CZ75, a pistol with, realistically, just 2 clips in it. It's not going to last them long. Epsilon find the 15th. And this is backs against the wall, quite literally for their coach, you can see. Just kicking back and thinking about what on earth you do now.
I have to say, with what we've seen from Epsilon being brought into this map, at least some of the depth they seem to go to, it seems very well structured. It seems like they have a point to prove, and they do. They came to this as the team that had it all to prove, the loud mouths, they've got the talent, they've got all of that going on. And
oh my, I did not see that.
We're trying to be nice people here, Sliggy. But no, that is a bit of an underperformance to say the very least. Aggression through mid, 3 players, perfect flash! He lines him up, he knocks him down, Barbar wants it all. One more round and this is Epsilon's.
One more. The words probably being repeated as every second passes here in this round. It would be a big one for Epsilon. Getting that first map under their belt. Inferno is on the cards next. The Molotov reminding me of such. And here we go. Smooya, first nail in the coffin. Try. Doesn't go down without a fight. Hags them up. 8 points of health, 33, but it will not be enough. And the Swedes make it 1-0. It's not just the Swedes, of course. Smooya puts his frags where his mouth is. Spectacular work from him and the gang as Epsilon take a lead in the series.
thoroughly impressive performance. And actually a closer game than I imagined. So more credit to Infused for putting up a good fight there. They did let rounds get away from them though. You saw it, you saw the frustration, you saw the underperformances. That needs to be fixed for map 2. That needs to change. Otherwise, you're not going to make it out of this alive.
And I have to ask the question, is there more of that double fake? Is there any more of that in your playbook? You know,
I'd love to see.
Like if they were to just, I mean, every coach or every player has one of these, right?
Yeah.
And they just
a little notebook on there.
How many of those pages are still in that book? Because I want to see more of that. And in fact, and it's a perfect map for it. We'll be talking more about it in a bit, but it's a perfect map for it.
There's so much to be seen in this matchup, but there's a lot to be said about the first map. So before we get ahead of ourselves and start getting into Inferno, let's hear what the guys on the desk have to say about map 1.
Thank you very much, Pazzi. Thank you very much, Machine. Great game, as they both said. So much closer than we first anticipated and predicted. But in a few moments, we will analyze map 1 again for everybody.
Okay, so there you see it. Something that you can be a part of right here in the Gfinity Arena is a professional competition. We have one of our professional players here, Neil Zinho, part of Method. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, you.
Okay, I'm very well, thank you very much. Now, we are in week 4 of this Elite Series. What is the journey like, and how different is it to other competitions?
I think it's really intense. Always having to travel here every single week, but it's good fun. It's a really nice arena, and it's probably one of the best I've been to, so compared to other UK events, it's really good fun to compete in.
Now, we've got players from everywhere, across everyone. You're talking about travelling. Obviously, there's a lot of sort of a life outside of Csgo, but this does take up a lot of your time. How do you balance life?
I think it's just more like any sport or like hobby you want to be in. If you love doing it, then you can obviously make time for it. Like I'm at university as well, so it can be a bit hard to balance it, but I think it's kind of good that it's through the summer periods, so you kind of just have to sacrifice your summer holiday a little bit, but if you get to do what you want and what you love, then it's worth it.
So do you think the main thing is just to be passionate about what you're doing, to be involved in this competition?
Yeah, I think if you want to get to like a decent level in any sport, any game, you have to put the time in, so if you don't love what you're doing, you need to have the passion to compete every day.
Now, speaking of passion, I feel like you all the players in our Elite Series do share that. How are you feeling the first half of this game is going?
No, I think it's pretty interesting. It's not, I wouldn't say it's how I was planning. I thought Epsilon maybe went a bit easier. Infused actually played really well. They threw a couple of big rounds, so I think if they didn't get equaled a couple of times, they could have probably won that game.
So what are you thinking? What are your predictions for the second half and the game in total?
I think Epsilon are probably going to take it now. I don't think Infused will take the second map. I mean, I would like to see me prove wrong, but I think Epsilon have got the experience to just close it out and get the 2-0.
Who was their key player, do you think?
Epsilon, I'd probably say Freddie B. He was really good. And for Infused, probably Frey 1.
All right, there we go. Nizinho, thank you so much. All right.
So, week 4 of the Elite Series and our last match of the day. We had Epsilon versus Team Infused. A closer than we predicted round on Mirage, but eventually it did go to Epsilon, even with Neil, as you can see there, very passionate throughout, trying to G up his players throughout, but the strength of Baba, Freddie B, and the rest of the team managed to just squeeze that one. Thinking about those matches and the T side and the CT side. What was the kind of the strong point for both of those teams?
Well, I feel like one of my keys to victory for Epsilon was to start strong on CT, because last week they were quite weak on it. And they started off strong, I think it was 7-2, and then they started dropping a few rounds here and there, but they'd have a strong finish at the end of the half. And I feel like that was kind of key, just to make sure that they didn't put too much, I suppose, forced effort towards their T side. So obviously, starting strong on CT was kind of big in this situation.
Yeah, and how did you see Epsilon in that map?
I was more focused on Infused, because I feel like, going into that, it seemed, over time we saw that Epsilon were a more organised team on Mirage, and I think for Infused it was key for them to minimise their mistakes, because they gave themselves some openings, but like on the first buy round, Red Snake didn't buy armour, for example, right? It's not a good start, and maybe that was telling to his performance over the match.
Was that a mistake? Is that just something he didn't have enough money? I mean, because CSGO is about using the resources you have effectively. That's not an effective use.
No, the problem is if you don't have armour, there's this mechanic in the game called aim punch. So if you get shot and you don't have armor and you're trying to shoot, it's like trying to shoot while you're on a jet ski in a storm, because your crosshair's going all over the place, so you can't shoot accurately. So you have to, unless you have a sniper, there are some places where you can use the range. But if you're using a Galil, then you've got to have your Kevlar in check. Yeah, a jet ski in a storm, that does not sound like a holiday I'm looking forward to. Definitely not useful on CSGO. But what else were you noticing about Infused then? Well, they had an anti-eco round or anti-force buy round where Smuya flanked one player on A. So they lost the player on A. They saw one player, and then they ran into a stack of 4 players on B without identifying where the players were, which is part of your what you need to do in that round, so that doesn't happen. So that was an early issue for them. They had some good rounds later though. They did some good damage with was it that round actually? I can't remember, but they had, later on in the match, when it was 14-10 to Epsilon, and they broke the money of Epsilon, but then Epsilon won a round of pistols, which broke the money of their opponent, and they picked up lots of stuff, and that pretty much killed the game there, because they didn't have the money to fight back at such a late stage in the game. So that was a crucial round that they lost there, which I mean, who knows how far they would have gone with that, but losing that round really reduced their chances to almost single digits.
Yeah, they were coming back. I was willing them on. Some of the spectators here in the Gfinity Arena, we were whooping and cheering. MCK was pulling out a lot of frags when he needed. Red Snake even came to the party eventually. He's not known for his kills in a match, but I mean, what is his role? Was he getting the team to sort of stay rigid and sort of organised? I suppose he's your stereotypical IGL. You don't expect too much fragging from him. So obviously it's not that much of a surprise, I suppose, to see him at the bottom of the scoreboard. You mentioned coming in a bit late. I think he got a 2K towards the end. I think that put him up to 5 for the entire game. Yeah. Which, even if you are an IGL who's stereotypical in that sense, not fragging, you still need to get a minimum of 10, maybe 12 per game. Otherwise, you're really pulling your team behind, I feel. Yeah, and if you're not buying armor as well. I've got to talk about round that was 12-8 in the score. Talk us through that round, James, because it was really interesting to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was a really big round for Epsilon, because they were in a 2 versus 3. As you can see from the radar, that red blinking icon is the bomb. And they don't have the personnel to retrieve the bomb, but they had a read that the CT's Infused hadn't seen it just yet. So Cosmine's flanking one player who's in A at the moment. When they kill these players, you'll see the last 2 start to rotate. They don't realize the C's don't have the bomb, so they're rotating into A to try and stop them, which is what Epsilon expected. So rather than expend one player to go and get the bomb, they just threw the CTs to them and won around that way instead, which is a great mid-round call. And that's the kind of mid-round calling that can be really strong and be the difference between winning and losing. So that was a huge play from Epsilon.
Yeah, it was almost sneaky, and I love that play in CSGO. It's kind of bluffing the opponent. It's like a game of chess. You're making one decision to go in one direction, but actually you're really trying to sort of flank them on the other side or do a different play. I've got to ask about map 2, which is Inferno, with Epsilon and Infused. What's going to happen in this map, guys?
I feel like it'll be quite close again, closer than expected, obviously. Infused have played this, I think, the past 2 weeks now, and they're clearly quite comfortable on it. And honestly, they've known the maps, I assume, for a few days at this point. They've been ready, preparing for these 2. So I think, again, quite a close game, but Epsilon to take it.
Okay, and what about yourself, James, on this one?
I want to see Infused minimize the errors that they made, like when they moved into the stack. You know, if they can avoid problems like that, which can compound issues moving into the match, then we might see a tighter scoreline. Who knows who's going to win it? But that's what I want to focus on for this match.
Okay, a closer game, but you going to say Epsilon, James? Am I going to push you on it?
I think I have to favour Epsilon for the match, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Gentlemen, we will watch it from over here, but the casters over there, we've got Pansy and Machine. These guys are both saying Epsilon. Do you see it differently on your side?
It's just so much fun to watch James squirm as you
Every time I do, I force him.
He doesn't want to do it, and then the graphic comes up, and he's like, there has to be something in that box. Yeah. I hate it. Oh, fantastic. I guess I'd probably be lenient towards Epsilon just because they won me over on that T side. I wasn't
love
convinced.
Those double fakes. You love a bit of that, don't you? Anytime you saw that, it does get you excited for their capabilities, don't you? You kind of end up seeing what they could maybe achieve down the line. So that's certainly a tantalizing prospect.
It absolutely is. And while we do have this map up, Inferno, a map that I know, Lauren, you're particularly fond of. Maybe you can walk us through as to why you like the way this one plays.
This plays out how you want your CS to look. That's what it is to me. You get your tactical elements. You get to see how they go back and forth, like the game of chess. You see how the strategy comes in, taking control on Banana, pushing up towards B, back and forth. The counter-terrorists and the terrorists themselves both fight for this sort of ground, this territory. And it's the same throughout the map, whether it be in the apartments, towards the site on A, or it doesn't matter where it is. Everything highlights perfectly what CS is meant to be played like here.
Or at least in your mind. Some people just want to run around and shoot stuff.
No,
that's not the way she rolls. But yeah, so if you take what they've said on the desk and you kind of try and expand upon what we saw in Mirage and how that translates, where on earth do you want to not be looking for Infused? What did you see that kind of put some seeds of doubt, sowed some seeds of doubt into your prediction?
There's potential with Infused. There is. There were moments where some of their rounds looked clean. They looked very concise. They looked well constructed. But it's a matter of consistency, and it's a matter of handling Epsilon when they get confident, when they start having those individual players finding that form they started to do. And sadly enough, I don't want to call out individuals, but Red Snake needs to up the game.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't care if you're an in-game leader, if you're the tactical mastermind. We ask a lot of players these days, and everyone else needs to deliver as well. So it's not just on him. No. But he needs to be a piece of this puzzle that falls into place. Otherwise, they'll never get the full picture.
When we did check the scoreboard right towards the end of Mirage, he was around that 5 frag mark. And you don't have to be a genius to work out just how difficult it can be to actually just get 5 frags. Having a tough one. Epsilon getting under his skin. And look at this information play. Aggressive use with a flashbang. Unfortunately, no shot. A double flash. Somebody hit the shot. Barbar finally does strike. And he'll be out of there. And look at this. They just are traveling packs. Epsilon again. Bit of aggression from one direction. Immediately Freddy's there to try and get the second.
Epsilon, the House of Wolves so far. Barbar desperate for one of these shots to land. And it's just one of those moments where nothing's going to hit. And he knows it as well. He gets dinged down. Red Snake already making up for a little bit of that. A little bit of an underperformance in the last map. Maybe he wants to get things off to a better start. Maybe a heel spotted there. Smooya might have caught a glimpse. So the call will be made.
And this timing could work out perfectly if he gets it just before they turn the corner. Should they pause for a second? That's heads turned. And there's the timing. There's the frag.
There's
and the bomb.
Alex, this could be a disaster, but Trials recovers. He keeps things going, but now there's a man hidden, waiting, but they've read this well. They've got the plan in mind. They know what the situation is, so they're going to head back down towards B. Bomb plants come in. Both players have smokes, they have flashes. They've got everything they need.
Wow, you can see that there's a little bit of paranoia from Trials as well. You don't necessarily actually know where he is. Your assumption is correct that he was on the other side, but still a smoke to be planted within just to ensure survival. Or at least, in the very least, getting that bomb down. So now pressure on Maeve, and I don't even get to finish my sentence before they finish the round. Good, solid work from... I think Trials is the main player to highlight there. Had he not traded onto Smooya, bomb is loose. Scary player with mad aim, has eyes on where you have to cross. Yep. It becomes a different round. But great work from Trials there.
And this is the thing. For Infused, they need to humble Epsilon. They need to make Epsilon play... I hate to say it, but a more standard game. If they keep running their kind of own strats and they're just aggressive throughout the map, it's very hard to play a strategic game against that.
Sure.
So you need to put them almost in their place, remind them that, hey, you don't get to treat us like this, you don't get to push us around. We'll punish you for that. So they need to do that for at least another couple of rounds, and then they can start playing their own game plan. Until that point, you've just got to tame Epsilon. And so far, this round is far more passive from them.
Okay. And this is what Inferno can be. The sounds of running water and birdsong. And the occasional terrorist boot. That's it. Red Snake does take a quick jump for information. Here on the T side. As they take a walk down the promenade. With their knives out to run faster. That's how this works. And the nades are going to start raining in. Now, whether or not they choose to commit on this is a question in itself.
You can see Cosmin wants information no matter what's happening, so he's going to push further forward than the others. Smoke still obscuring their view, unable to get the full picture, but Cosmin's got a good idea. This is but a ruse, a bit of a fake, a bit of a way to get people's attention more than anything, and try and pull an additional player to the wrong bomb site. But Epsilon aren't falling for that for now. That's a shot. Barbar makes that deagle. Sing, and no more to be found for Smooya, though. Barbar now put on notice. His back now open. He's worried. He's cautious. He's scared. Infused, they're on the way.
Oh, and Barbar doesn't get to do the same thing twice. One bullet, but this time into the shoulder blade. Trials down to 57. Now Freddy looks to strike, and what a strike it is. The hard work from Barbar is finished off by Freddy. Suddenly, 3v3. No Kevlar for two of them. Freddy's the man with just a little bit more survivability to him. And here they go. One flashbang to keep them at bay, but that's not really the main port of call. Instead, it's going to be frags. It's going to be crosshairs on heads, and it's going to be great work from Fry, and they're going to continue to replicate that. It should be two. MCK's got the rest of Cosmin, and now Freddy, cowering in apartments, is just going to go ahead and try and keep hold of what little investment he had made into that round, and we have ourselves a second Infused. We talk about the challenge of getting three, converting the first three.
Yep.
They've done so with two.
And they've kept 3 players alive as well, at least. Now they have. All is safe. So they've kept those 2 rifles, the UMP, they've got the armor, they're in a good position with the bomb plant as well. And they dealt with a little bit of a threat. There was that little moment where, okay, you know, you had a bit of a shot coming through from Barbar, and that looked like, okay, that's a little scary. And then Smooya had that little swing out, he got put away. You put him in a box, you just, no, not this round, we don't want that. Freddy B has a moment, no more. They keep those last 3 alive and they handle it well. That's what you want to see, because otherwise, if Epsilon did more damage, they may have been tempted to get a little something going there. You've got the Deagle still out, you've still got P250s. There's still threats available. On the other side, you've got, what, a MAC-10, 2 UMPs, you've got plenty to play with here. Infuse still have the upper hand.
And because of the absence of armor, they're rocking these SMGs. A MAC-10, 2 UMPs you can see on the Infused side of the screen. And in a dream world, they'll be getting the frags. More money for the rest of this game as they battle closer and closer to the magical 16. Early control of Banana Lore, and that is kind of the name of Inferno, the name of the game as such. And once there's weapons, we get to see that battle for Banana, which sounds comical every time I say it. The battle for that potassium.
A valiant one, written to the history books, Alex.
Yeah, that's right.
Once more, unto the banana, dear friends, once more.
That sounds appealing.
Anyway. Very nice.
We are just a bunch of idiots. We should stop.
Yeah, you don't want to slip on that. Now, I'm going to be planted. 5 alive. Sadly, the kill's not coming in towards the SMGs. That's the real, I guess, icing on the cake, the additional money. But kills nonetheless. So Fry's fine with that. He might be just feeling confident off it as well. Start feeling good about it. That's always a nice bonus too. That actually helps a lot. Certain players get that confidence, going like, yeah, I'm feeling this game. Starting to land my shots. So that might help him. But it's down to Cosmin and Maeve right now.
Maeve has not spent a penny. That is the starting pistol. That is an unarmored CT. But he does have the Inferno pin. It's not going to keep him safe.
No,
that's the end of that one. Aaron and Fry are going to be finishing off the round. And that's, you know, dream scenario. When everyone on the desk says, I want Infused to start strong, in their mind, it's this. A 3-0 start, kills with SMGs. If you win the bye, that is the strongest start you could possibly get.
Absolutely, that's picture perfect sort of stuff that you hope for. So for them, keep going through this motion. Don't let it slip away from you. Now, yeah, we have the MAC-10 being retained by Red Snake. Let's see where he utilizes this. He could be kind of the bait almost. He could be just put towards top of Banana, try and get up there fast. No, he's hanging back. All right, I'll see what he does. I'm curious now. On the other side, a slightly weaker buy, but a buy that's good enough to put up a fight here.
Now, I know it's simply hypothetical, but there is an unarmored AWP. And a MAC-10 does, as we talked about, tear through unarmored opponents. Freddy B hasn't got a helmet. MAC-10 completely viable. on the 2 of the 5 targets that stand for Epsilon. The rest will be scout work for Red Snake, as he's going to be bounding around corners, throwing off the nades. You see, starting to rain down on Cosmine and co. It's Maeve alongside him, who's going to be his duo in this one as they battle to weather the storm. Or at least what they think would be a storm. The nade suggests as such, but nothing to write home about just yet. Not yet. We'll be putting pen to paper instead. Infused pause, trying to draw out additional utility. A Molotov and a flash would be nice.
Seems as though the game's having a little bit of a moment there. The time's frozen, so hopefully we can find out what's going on with that. There it is, back underway. No problem, no harm, no foul. Didn't actually make much of a move here. They do build the way up Banana. Now, it was set up as a fake, and then the double fake. This is nice, because Epsilon haven't read this. It's a dry hit. That means they're just going to go in without those smokes, without that wall of utility put into play. That does mean there's a chance. Cosmine, Maeve now could do damage in a lovely combination. Oh, it's beautiful. Working off each other perfectly. Pulling attention left, striking right, and now the support's on the way. They can get a bomb plant, but look at the HP. It's dire for Infused.
3 letters, H-O-W. How? How does that happen? 2 players are given the responsibility of holding off a full T-side, not a single man gone down. They stroll in. Sure, you throw out a couple of flashbangs and that should delay them. But Infused just get completely messed up. I mean, the defense, CT have an advantage. The opponents have to come to you to an extent. Yes, of course, there's plenty of discussion to be had, blah, 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 blah. But 2v5, there is no way that they still have the advantage. And they just play perfect. Lovely work. Cosmine draws their attention. Barbar patiently waits, trusts his teammate. He doesn't feel like he needs to go wide, doesn't feel like he needs to help immediately. Trust that Cosmine will do the necessary damage, and he did. Still, we're getting hung up on one round, and talking of Cosmine, speak of the devil, he strikes again. This time it's Trials. We'll be taking a trip to the pit. And Smooya, in the meantime, does chime in with one into the brain of Aaron. 2 instrumental members of this Infused assault taken down before they get a chance to really think about this one. Still, looking at their positions, they're just lost in no man's land.
This is what I like the way you said that there. They haven't gained any ground, really. They took no ground, they lost out on 2. So now they're kind of stuck, as said, in the middle of nowhere. They have no real easy step to either site. They have no information. So for them, how much can we achieve here? What do we have left to build something into this round? Smoke nade, 2 flashes. So they can cut off one avenue and try and work as a collective towards another. CK getting a little... They look lost.
I think they're thinking about boosting. I think he's asking his teammate to boost him.
On the corner, maybe?
Yeah, here you go. Look, this is what they... Oh, come on, gentlemen. There we go. And now what he can do is just transfer onto this roof. And he's been spotted.
No one else is going to swing out on this, though, so he just knows one's here. That's it. That's all he knows. It's a very hard position to remove people from. Good flash, and... Oh, this is not looking good for Infused. They need to land these shots and fast. Barbar already going to find one. Smooya now readies himself. Sniper rifle to hand. Play across this, but it's Freddy B on the side, and Fry the only one to do anything at this point. So thanks for helping out. Does eventually find him in the end, but all in all, it was a little flimsy on the hit in the end.
I think that was a team flash, you know. You said lovely flash. I'm almost certain that was a fail flash towards pit.
I'm pretty sure I saw one more come through.
Oh, is there another CT? There was a CT one.
I think there was.
Okay, because that could have been a blazing error. We get to see this time from Barbar's perspective as he did line. Wait,
yeah,
this is the corner.
Smooya just flashed,
that was
and you saw it come through there.
Okay. And look at this buy. Previously, we've seen, you know, UMPs, and we talked about MAC-10s as well, what they can do versus the unarmored opponents, but we are starting to see a shotgun brought out by Freddy B. We talked about respect, Lauren. Many people have sung about said word.
Thank God, because I couldn't spell it, Alex.
And this is where you start questioning the presence of it. It is viable. I mean, it's close fights. Balcony, you can hold it down and mow him down, and this... Oh, my Lord.
We're going to find out how viable this is, Alex. If they go through this, Freddy is on the other side.
Oh, my God!
He turns the flash. Oh, he gets overwhelmed. Aaron's broken through, and Smooya's just seeing the bodies hit the floor. It's raining men. And he might just be saying hallelujah at this point. A lovely shot to finish off with, but an easier round for him to handle. But that shotgun didn't get off the ground.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. He outplayed himself. At that point in time, you're so close to the action that you're, like, flash or no flash, you're just going to start pulling left. Like, you know, pulling left click. You're just going to start clicking. Fortunately, his teammates do save the day. You can see Smooya. He had an AWP, but the pistol much better suited to fights like that, and no armor means he could just shred through them with restrained fire. Wasn't panicking, wasn't spamming it. Restrained, controlled, and brings home the equalizer. Now standing at 3 apiece as you see the pace starting to shift. Oh, this is going to get messy. Aaron won, but I'm worried about what Smoothie is capable of. It's already one. Infused down, just 2 men, and what is that, 106 points of health between them. The math just doesn't add up.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a massacre, to say the least. The body's strewn. Cross up Banana, and there it is. The shutdown in the end, maybe a kind mercy for what was going on. But let's be honest about this. The pistol round looked good. The way they're approaching it looked good from Infused. I liked how they're playing, but it's hit the gun rounds, and suddenly, you know, the resistance is here. Epsilon are done. They're a little tired of Infused having their way, so you can see the events changing already here.
Yeah, this is very intimidating to watch Epsilon now. This is 4 consecutive rounds, and they don't really show any signs of stopping. They're doing different things as well. It's not rigid. I mean, we saw a rigid CT side earlier on in the broadcast. Week 4 of the Elite Series. Freddy B pays quite the heavy price for his frag on Fry, but it's enough. Backs away, safe and sound. Body down.
See the confidence from Epsilon to even be this close at this point. They know they're against pistols, and that's where you can get overwhelmed by them. You don't want to get to those close ranges where they can one-shot you, but Barbar's doing well to find Aaron. Keep those numbers favourable to the CT side, defending here as Infused try and work their way through the maze to get to that bomb plant. Barbar again chipping away now. Infused left with only 2.
You know, that shotgun buy may have suggested that there's a lack of respect for the way Freddy's positioning and playing. It's so clear. This is nothing more than their A game. Freddy Snake's going to punish Smooya's hunt, though. Just as I start to talk about it, you go running in, desperate to pick up the frag for yourself, but it's not going to be a heavy price to pay. 1 man falls, scavenging can go down, and another round on the board for Epsilon, who are starting to pick up steam. Like, they are shoveling coal into that hype train and starting to pick up momentum. Whether they have breaks, that's Infused decision.
It does get scary, though. You need to find an answer to the gun round, and you haven't done enough damage to be able to get in their heads. We haven't seen that full execute. This is a really nice buy, though. Fry on the AWP as well, a little bit of a new look. Hopefully that can cut a different figure for Infused into this, as they really do need that to get themselves a bit of a breath of fresh air here. It feels like it's been a bit of a smothering from Epsilon for quite a couple of rounds now.
Smoothing. Not my best word.
A smoothing?
A smoothing. Yeah. I like to make up verbs in my spare time. Still. That AWP from Smooya. We talk of the devil, and once again he strikes. Now does he strike twice?
In the same place? Does that happen?
Apparently it happened once, some poor guy. Double tags, you can see that. No vision for Maeve, but he still managed to profit from it, and dicing with death is going to be Fry. Takes down Barbar and gets away from it. Now, in eyes with Maeve for Epsilon. They have the numbers, and oh, his positioning could not be better. Back's turned. Had he not moved, that could have been so different, but just in the nick of time, as the smoke starts to fade, every player in their head has that counter for that smoke. You're going to get a feel for it as you play the thousands of hours that these players have. It's around that 15, 18-second mark. It starts to dissipate. And just as that happens, just before he is visible, Maeve repositions and has 2 players' backs turned as they emerge.
And this is a thing that you discuss, and I think that it's hard to quantify, so people don't often breach into it, but that feeling, right? You know, there is genuinely a feel to this game, and you can see when certain players start feeling it, right? You'll see when people get confident. They'll take fights that aren't necessarily favorable to them, yet they still win them. They start to read the game well. They start to get that kind of understanding, that weird, like, intuition almost. And that's simply just a player having those moments like, okay, I feel the situation, because they've been in that situation probably 1,000 times before. Right. You know, like when you're a kid, you go down to the football field, or you kick a ball against the wall. You eventually learn how it works. You eventually get it into your head when you do something enough, how everything responds, right? To these guys, they sit there and they do this time and time and time again until they get it right. Yeah. Now, in this timeout, that's not what they're discussing. That's just a completely different thing. This timeout is for them to get their heads back in the game, because they have been broken and beaten here. I haven't seen enough from them to warrant me being excited about this map yet. I need more from them, and they can deliver. We saw Mirage. We saw that first map. It was close. It was good. We saw some great CS. Where's that gone?
Picked up the first 3, and as a response, Epsilon bash 6 back in their face. They're even running on top of each other. as they venture towards Banana. Beauty of Counter-Strike.
Smooya is going to be put in... He's basically a lynch fan. Great flash. The high flash, you just saw arc over the top, forced him off the angle. He was trying to be the playmaker. He was trying to push aggressively towards middle, and that's allowed them to put the additional player towards B. But if he went down, that's the whole site open. And Barbar's overwhelmed. Nice positioning from him. I didn't really realize he had the double AWP. That's perfection from him. Now they've got information. Now they could pull a player back, but they don't.
3-2 split of their resources, and Barbar, he's seeing players, he's hearing players, and yet 3 CTs remain on B. This is sensational. Barbar catches another one. Some would say he didn't deserve it, but a flick of the wrist renders 2 players forced to watch as the rest try and pull together for a fourth. Trials is in a prime position.
This is good approach from Infused. You hit the brakes, you get yourself in a good position. You know that the CT, the defending side, want to play back in. You hit the brakes, you halt. You wait to see what moves they're going to make to try and play back through to it. And there it is. MCK finds Smooya. It's game back on now. Infused, they have 38 seconds, a 2v2, and every chance in the world now. Maeve and Freddy B have to stop it before it starts, but that's too late. The bomb's planted. And Fry's in a good position. He can be pivotal to this if he can get that AWP to somehow work.
So many nades, though. I mean, a Molotov, a smoke, a flashbang, and literally every nade in the spectrum of nades is present, and they're not going to be used perfectly. In fact, Trial's location, look at his peeking over the smoke. That is so very spicy. Another frag, this time into the head of Freddy. Maeve then forced to work on his own, and it's going to be Fry to shut that man down. Fry makes him die. 6-4, and we do get that fourth. The round Infused have been hunting for the past 6.
But now for me, it's can they string it together? We just saw a 3-2 approach that Epsilon hadn't really looked at before. They'd been putting, vast majority of the time, 3 players on A. Now that round, they put 3 players towards B. So for me, it was a different approach just to try and keep Infused on their toes and hope that they maybe read the play correctly. They didn't, so we might see them go back to a different look. But again, the double AWPs come out. This looks like how they like to play it. But no, a switch up here. It's Barbar over by B. You still have Smooya over by A, but this time Freddy B's there with him. So a switch up, a difference. This could change things. But again, Infused, they've got that round now. They start to feel like it's possible. It all could just turn around here.
Look at Maeve's position. You can see him there. He was considering it. Just facing the wall in the smoke. Yeah. It's so devious. Flashbangs won't affect you. You can swing around. And look at that. Just lying in wait as that smoke does dissipate. Hanging with his mate. And hopefully the attack won't be late. 4 men of the 5 then are going to be committing towards this A site. By committing, have yet to try and get that bomb down, yes, but they are starting to surge up middle. It's going to be Barbar. Oh, a boost. It could be perfect. Eyes over the smoky. At least got some information, and there's more. Oh, he locks on, but it's unable to connect. Receding now, but that will put Infused with a little bit more caution to their play.
Now, they're probably going to try and boost a player up or put a player on towards B that can be a bit of a linchpin, a bit of an anchor almost. You can see Infused hitting the brakes, see if there's going to be aggression everywhere else, and there was. Freddy B gets punished. But now they might be starting to get a bit of an idea, but they're down to 30 seconds here, Infused. They need to make their hit. Oh, that's lovely. MCK! Oh, Smooya fell for that one. Hook, line, and sinker, but Barbar, can you deliver? No! Overrun, outnumbered, outgunned. They found something that worked here for Infused. It's a way back into this game.
That double wide peak is just beautiful. I'm trying to find words that are appropriate for the broadcast. I'll go with beautiful. By going wider, you're aware it's an angle that favors the AWP. That's not something you should be winning. They get the first shot. You have to make them miss. What do? You draw their attention one way, and there's a second to follow who hits that shot. MCK was the one to deliver. Had he missed it, God knows how badly that could have gone for Infused, but no. Shuts him down, and another round in the books for Infused. And by replicating that, you can see, look at that train of blue. You see in the center of the scoreboard, look at that. Just 6 rounds back-to-back from Epsilon, and by winning a second, suddenly Infused have just a little bit more stability.
Yeah, and it also puts the money in question now a little bit more for Epsilon. They've got a
one more round.
Yeah, they've got enough money left over. They could probably buy something relatively decent into this one just purely because they've retained those 2 weapons. That's really important to them. But this is where the pressure starts to really mount up. This is where you start to feel, oh, okay, is this where we start to be into trouble? But yeah, here's the buy. As I said, good utility. Still have 1 AWP on Smooth. Got the UMP on Barbar. But overall, that's fine. That's enough to play with. It's just they need to find this answer now to Team Infused sort of approach. And Infused might switch up this round. This is the last kind of real go at it. with the buy coming in. So if they're aware of the money, if I was Infused, I'd really vie for control on Banana, because the one thing I haven't seen is Epsilon pushing all the way down. Faster pressure, and then kind of being able to rotate that early man.
Well, you asked for it. Epsilon deliver. Pushing down early. They even staggered their nades. Grenades, they're typically thrown at the very start of the round. They pause, and 15 seconds later, they throw them, trying to catch out Infused on their reads.
But they need to show patience as well. Now, they've got the double stack towards Apps, and that's fine. The Apartments has now got, what, Barbar and Smooya in there, I'm pretty sure, and that's okay. I don't mind it. Smooya's pushing up pretty far. And you can see that Infused are waiting for this. They want this to happen. So if they play back in now and they're not aware of what could have happened, that's their own fault. But again, a lot of pressure on Freddy B. If they just push up middle, no one's there to instantly swing on it if they smoke off quad on the short side.
Now, you saw in the eyes of Smooya there, that is not... Jeez, looks like he's actually come back, so less exciting to be talked about. But oh, Red Snake, lucky to be alive. 6 points of health. And as you can see, the CTs are still standing vigilant on B. It's almost like Epsilon are giving more credit to Infused. The bomb, however, is not coming with them to A. It's sitting, as you can see, by the very obvious bright red icon. It's still at T's
That could be a round loss. If they aren't there as a collective at this point, look at the time left. They've got 20 seconds. Now they need to commit, and they've had no early advance to any site. So someone like Cosmine can sit there and buy time. If Maeve just does a little damage, does a little something, they have to make this hit count right about now. The smokes come in. Red Snake goes first. He's the tasty bait. He's seen both. 10 seconds now. Oh, that's a shot. Fry's kept this with a real chance. Bomb goes in with the final second available. The spray of desperation comes out from Maeve, but no, nothing to connect. 2 players need to hold back the 3, or this is Infused back into this game.
And it could so easily have just been an error. Player error could cost them this round. We'll find out now, though. Aaron, whilst Flash finds one, Smooya on the hunt, and it goes completely untraded. The rest are doing what Epsilon do best. They're pushing together as a pair. And that pair is going to get cut down. Fry, he opened the bomb site, and it looks like he's going to close it. Aaron comes wide and Infused. Well, that is not the most beautiful round of Counter-Strike you'll ever see. Planting with 1 second to spare.
With no information
about where any of the opposition, 4 players standing as you're doing so, by the way. There's 17 seconds left. You haven't got to a bomb site yet.
How much can go wrong there? How many times have we seen a Deagle do enough to stop it? Let alone a team with rifles dug into these sites. Imagine there was 3 players on that bomb site.
Well, we saw what Cosmine did last time they did a 4-man B push. Perhaps by not necessarily knowing what they were doing themselves, neither did Epsilon. There you go. Yeah, I'd take a pause too. You can see a tactical timeout from Epsilon after conceding that one. Very hard to analyze that one. There isn't much to be said. Simply Fry. I think Fry hitting that shot, shutting down Cosmine. Admittedly, there was a Molotov forcing him out of position. Yep. His options were limited, and the use of their nades in the last minute were spectacular. But yeah, we'll move on. If you have just joined us, 1 more map to go. We're already kind of quite deep into the the first half of our second map here, Inferno, of the series. We saw Epsilon take the first, picking up the win on Mirage. 7 maps in the pool. These are the 2 that we got to through the veto process. A best of 2. Should you win both maps of the best of 2, you get the 3 points on the ladder. And that is where the magic happens. In terms of score results so far, Epsilon coming into this one saying that no team could beat us in a best of 3. Well, it turns out they can in best of 2s. Splitting series versus Reason and Method in both weeks 1 and 2. Finding their first 2-0 into week 3. Now, can they replicate that? They did it versus none other than Excel. Now they try and do it versus Infused, and Fry, he seems to have something to say. Admittedly, limited economy this time for Epsilon.
Got a couple of Deagles up. I like this from Infused though. Using the mollies. Molotovs going to the corner, of course. To clear them out. They don't need to commit to it. They can allow that piece of utility, that bit of monetary investment to do it all for them. Perfect. MCK going to work his way up as well. And they've got banana control, but you can see how they split throughout the map. Plays I like to look at a Red Snake in this situation, or maybe Trials, but you can see maybe they're kind of teetering with the idea of, do I want to go on that? Do I want to try and make something happen? No, he falls off it. And I like what they're doing here in Infused. They defaulted throughout the map, quite passive too. And the only man who can change any of this is Barbar.
You can see this is unwinnable. Unlikely is an understatement, as he's currently... Oh no. He's staring at him. There's no way you stand a chance. Comical. A little bit of comic relief throughout this competitive game. And look at this. You rarely see that, Lauren. 5 men pushing around the corner at the same time. Make it 4 because Freddy's gone hunting. that was quite rare.
But I like it. I like it in these rounds. Yeah, you're up for a risk of just all being like one-tapped by a P250 or something stupid that shouldn't happen, and it can. But it's so rare. At least you're always going to be trading. At least you're never going to let it get away from you. You don't get picked off individually. You don't let guns fall away without a trade.
The death squads. The cupcake death squads.
Cupcake death squads.
Yeah, that's what they were. They look cute and cuddly.
Nah.
But these boys are here to play, and they're looking for that 7th round. Freddy did grab himself an AK. The frag onto Red Snake gifted him a weapon for free coming into the next round, but doesn't look like his teammates are going to be as lucky. Or at least one of them. Aaron. That bomb explosion radius does go far. He's brought down to 9 points of health as he leaps into the corner in a desperation play. Still, 6-7. And it is time for another full buy round. These are always where the real excitement lies, for me at least. Getting to see Will Smooya and Fry clash. Will we get to see more from MCK as he's been rather resilient on that arch take. Even when they go in B, MCK seems to find himself somewhere up middle.
I do want to see more from that man. And I do put a lot of pressure on Smooya to do pretty well in this, because I think he can be an incredible talent. A lot of people will say arguably one of the best players in the UK currently. That's what you're looking at here. Is that's the potential he has, but he's been a little muted in comparison to what I know he can do. Said earlier, he's pretty tired, traveling. He's feeling a little bit of the wane of it all. He's still a little newer to this than some of the veterans to it, but he's certainly got that potential that I want to see more of. But on the other side, you can see that even with Red Snake not quite on form, he's doing enough, right? This is a very good T-side from Infused.
And when you talk about wanting to see more, just seeing UK players being sold to international teams. It's not something that has necessarily been commonplace. United Kingdom, and looks like now it's going to be Cosmin, another man this time from Romania, finds one. Aaron down, and here comes the potential second. No! Limited aim. Crosshair wasn't quite where it should be. We talked about MCK and talked about his proficiency on the A-bomb side. This time it's B where he draws blood, and hang on a second. What's the plan here?
They've fallen off this, and they haven't given like much of a indication they're going to start. There's still players on B.
In their defense, they didn't invest nades. I'd be getting my knickers in a twist had they invested their grenades.
So they're going to have to take the risk of one of these. They're going to have to leave either CT open or coils open, or I don't know. So for me, eyes on Trials, what he chooses, he's going CT. So they're going to leave open coils, which plays in Barbar. So now Barbar's the next danger man. He can take a swing. Maeve does get a kill, but there it is. That's the problem that happens when you have to pick and choose. And I know you're glad they had some of that utility, but a smoke can be the most valuable piece in your arsenal. If you don't have it, you end up in these situations.
Imagine another smoke, that double spray is locked out. You try through smoke and nothing connects. And this, my friends, is the power of the grenades in this game. Epsilon will win this one as time does elapse. MCK keeps hold of his weapon, so all good for him. But yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a round win, but it's certainly a much better shot at it.
Yeah.
Had they had just one more smoke for Maeve's position. You could see he was well aware that nades were going to be thrown. He was staring at the wall, worried about a flash in place of a smoke, but great work from the defensive side. And I think the Epsilon's B defense has kind of been the shining light of their CT side.
Yeah, the crossbows they've set up have been brilliant. Oh, hey, JW. Nice to see you again.
Doing it again. This is like, you don't see this every day. And get
ruined.
Whoa. The hunt for a word there as I lost my filter.
Yeah, I think I know what you're going to go for.
Because deaths like that for Trials, you just died where you don't die. That's where you're sitting. You're still in your mind.
That's gifted T territory.
No, yeah, right. You're in your mind. That's where you're like, okay, what should I do? Should I push traps? Shall I wait a bit? Like, you're still thinking how this round's going to go in your head. And Smooya just slaps that kind of scrapbook out your head and says, no.
You're not doing any of that.
You're going to watch this round from the sidelines. Knocked down to 4. As Infused have just the last round. This is the last of the first half of our second map within the best of 2. And the first half is coming to a close. One more round to attack for Infused before the tables turn, but MCK levels things out and not a single trade in sight.
No, Barbar now. He's going for this. Barbar, you madman! What is that?
Like a rabid dog.
Mad lad.
Two players left, just Maeve and Cosmin.
It's the B defense as well, though, Alex. These guys, they've proven a little tricky to handle.
Maeve and Cosmin sound like a sassy middle-aged comedy duo.
Can I be Cosmin?
I'll be Maeve.
Nice.
Can I have like a blue rinse? I don't know why you've got blue rinse at 40, but it's just how I roll.
You're bubbly.
I am. I'm bubbly. Got a nice laugh. Hey, there it is. We're back into the action. You can see this round coming to a close as the gunshots will ring true for Infused. We do see the end just with a slight advantage. In fact, the slightest. 8-7 will be the first half, just in favor of Infused. It's now their turn to defend.
The recovery, though, was actually quite impressive. They had a bit of a shaky kind of...
6 rounds in a row.
Yeah, they have the pistol in there as well. They've had certain pieces working for them, which was quite impressive for Infused. But the fact is that when it came to the gun rounds, it started looking like, okay, well, here's your winners, right? The Epsilon side take strides, take bounds towards the end of the game. But no, that was a great recovery from Infused, showing some real resilience to actually a very hard-to-handle team. Let's be honest, it's frustrating playing against these guys when they get confident, but they got put back in their place, and Infused now give themselves a shot to come back in the second half and really run away with the game.
Epsilon are one of just 2 teams that already hold 2 series draws. They're trying to break that curse. Just 1 win under their belt. Them and Method just can't seem to stop splitting series, and this is another opportunity for Infused to kind of add a third to that tally. 8 teams competing, just 2 stand on that. And now it's looking like Infused have a chance to split again.
Yeah, and it's a chance for Epsilon to push themselves into the top 2 position more than anything as well. And then for Infused, they oh my word, Fry!
It's a hard, bitter pill to swallow. You see them first, you take the first shot, and yet you still find yourself watching the rest of the round without a mouse and keyboard in your hands.
And I actually like the way that Infused have approached this now. They put the 2 players remaining on the A site towards the arch. And that's just pretty because it allows you to rotate as well. Like, you're not just locked towards A site, and you can deny the player around the back. So Barbar can't go on that sneaky little route through the defending side spawn. That's a nice little touch, but it does leave you vulnerable, of course. It is going to be a B hit, so they have a quicker rotate here, so it might be more viable to actually play retake or hinder this hit. Barbar is being a nuisance. That's his job right now.
I am feeling vulnerable as well, Laura, thanks for asking. Trials, though, just going to be met by Maeve. The Glocks are starting to come in. This pistol has so many bullets and so much accuracy while moving that is exactly how it should be played. Epsilon are going to be starting to close this one out. MCK just forced to try and take a couple of heads with him. We'll be getting that game sound back in your ears in just a moment's time, as we do see Epsilon win that pistol round. Just 1 in either half. That's how you start them off. And now let's see if Epsilon could do what Infused did. In this very position, with this exact result from the pistol, they replicated it twice. We got a full 3-round start. It's Epsilon's task to do that, and a very, very different buy from both sides, look. An investment from Infused, a map that when talking to Freiburg, he said that this is one of the 2 maps he believes that second round force buy is viable on. And 5 AKs for Epsilon. We're going on an adventure, Lauren.
Yeah, the 5 rifles. You don't see this. Now, every death gets costly. This is the scary thing now. For Epsilon, you can't afford... Well, you don't want to lose a single player. And let's see if they can keep true to trend. They need that clean slate, and Aaron wants that deagle to connect so badly. No matter how much he hopes, no matter how much he prays, it's just not coming through. And every step he takes back, Epsilon gets closer, and the site is theirs.
Wow, a stack and everything. They had the numbers. They even had the best arsenal they could have brought in, but Epsilon's buy is rewarded. They get that mid-range fights. Admittedly, SMGs could have thrived in similar scenarios with less of a financial risk, but the beauty of it is that they didn't lose any. They get the round, and they still have all of those AK-47s to play with. The typical buy you expect to see on the attacking side, at least for the riflers. And now, rinse and repeat. The buys could not be any more. In fact, take a picture of this if you want to start learning Counter-Strike. The left side and the right side could not be any further apart in terms of buy and the quality of it. Look at the top of your screens. $26,600.
Yeah. It's not so nice right now for Infused.
Epsilon have got their gold Rolexes on, pimping. MCK walking around with a wooden bowl asking for some more soup.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Back in your cave, boy. Just a bit of roleplay in between. You get everything here on these broadcasts.
Never miss out on a second of this action.
Absolutely not.
Nope. He's happy.
What I love about Neil is he just doesn't show his emotion on his face. You know, he's just stalwart.
Stoic in nature.
Yes. There's so much mystery about how he's feeling. I really want to kind of dig deeper. I wish he'd just give me just a little bit more.
And again, a disparity in purchases here just purely down to utility and the choice that they've made. So obviously Trials there going for the Famous with a little bit more, so he's got the nade, double flash, smoke. What he has there is a decent amount. Oh, don't mess up the boost, just get on up there.
Gentlemen.
There we go. Made it count, and on the other side they got it all. They've got the Molotovs, they got smokes, they got flashes. They are sitting pretty, but they still need to land the shots. As much as CS may be a tactical genius of a game sometimes, it does come down to the basics, and this boost is very hard to handle. 2 players in the same place, you can't hit them both at the same time.
It's all about communication as well. MCK going too wide here. Wow, he gets away from Boiler, if not just for a moment, and now he leaves his teammate in the cold. But Aaron is just so damn good. When you talk about basics, you talk about Aaron. Crosshair on head. Freddy B and Barbar, 2 of the scary Swedes are falling. Red Snake doing what he couldn't on Mirage, picks up the frag. And now Maeve and Smooya are left to do what should be impossible. An opportunity is given though, a gap in the smoke. As Smooya uses it now to guise his movement. Positioning for a frag onto Trails. Or Trials. It's just going to be Maeve. Part of our middle-aged comedy duo. Not going to be happening instead. Nope, 10-9. And a roar once again. Aaron, all eyes on him. On your screen now, the player that's managed to keep that round alive. When MCK dies, Lauren, that could have just been a waterfall into the A site.
Absolutely. That could have all fallen apart. You know, you can't chase waterfalls.
But sometimes you do just need a bit of TLC.
There it is. MCK goes down, but Aaron holds strong. They could have bounded off that so easily.
Just what the doctor ordered. Suddenly, if 2 bodies drop on quad, you are planting and you're in after plants in the next 20 seconds. But it didn't happen. Aaron saves the day and keeps this close. 10-9. Inseparable, the 2 teams here, locking their horns in the second map of the best of 2.
Let's look at Epsilon, how they're taking this one through. Very aggressive from Maeve. Straight in towards Apps. He's quite alone here. But he's seeing how far he can push this, and he's actually gone incredibly far out. How's he gone this far? What is that for communication? But good trade from Smooya, but Fry and Aaron now put to task, put to pressure. Aaron falls away from it, leaves it to Fry there. Now he becomes a little vulnerable. The flashes coming through thick and fast. The mollies burn, and the side becomes truly a danger zone.
Truly. Top gun there from Freddy. Finds the head of Fry. Now then, Red Snake and Trials. Admittedly sound like arcade games, but both of them standing, trying to find their way into keeping these weapons in their hands. You can see they're just going to be sitting on the opposite end of the map. You look at the top left-hand side, you can see just how far away they are from the action. Their opportunity here is simply just have a chat, talk about what went wrong, and think about round 21, where they want to be preserving all of that investment. And his teammates, I don't know, can we bring up that scoreboard as these T's do scatter away? His teammates are going to be limited. Well, goodness me. Red Snake's on the goose egg, $0. And as this round does end, their loss bonus will be in its second phase, you can see. In fact, no, the first. So they did previously win the round. Doesn't get worse than that. You'll see 1,400 is deposited into Red Snake's account, and that's not going to get you much. And so, therefore, with his preserved rifle, he will have to keep that one going. Lauren, Epsilon aren't far away from finishing this.
I'm curious if we've seen this man blink yet. Oh, there it is.
He's got beautiful blue eyes. Did you ever say something and then regret it instantly, Lauren?
Absolutely not. I've never done that in my life before.
Yeah.
Lovely blue eyes. Trials waiting on the flash in here. Red Snake setting this one up, but it's all about timing and hit. Oh, it's awful. It could have been any worse. Smooya finds him back turn presenting himself, and Red Snake now, well, you've got a lot of work to do, but they're not going to just go on this yet. If they'd pushed that issue, if they pressured that point, it could have all fallen apart, but no, they take their time, they fall away from it. Epsilon, they want to make this hurt.
Yeah, this is just like pulling teeth. They lose one, and now they're just going to start falling. Are they, though? MCK does just take the one. It's Barbar down, but this is where you just have to kind of wonder, are we doing this again? And where did Red Snake's M4 go? Did he drop that to another man? Did he make that sacrifice from the save? And
I would if I was Red Snake. He's not
throw it to one of the scary ones. Aaron's having a game.
Oh, yeah, because it was the player on the corner who was about to be flashed in who had it.
Yeah. Can't believe I missed that. Excuse me.
How dare you? But yeah. bit awkward on that front.
But look at this. Now, this isn't for nothing more than just salt in the wound. And we talked about the power of saving. They are on the hunt.
I'm wondering if Epsilon actually hid the rifle away as well.
I was thinking the same. No, Red Snake's going to grab it.
Okay.
But look at Freddy. I wouldn't put him past it. Oh, what a shot. Snaps onto Fry, and I feel like he's going to get another. Oh, wow. Rolls the dice, and it's a double. Because you can get doubles on dice, Lauren.
Two.
You know those doubles?
Oh, the doubles.
Oh, don't you just hate it when you roll a double?
It's the worst.
On those dice?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Vegas, rolled a double.
Yeah?
Wouldn't believe it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
12-9, Infused. Starting to break under the pressure Epsilon is applying. And Barbar merely wants to make it hurt even more. Taking matters to his own hands. He's got the Mac 10 here. Playing himself in pretty much. And this makes money. This is what this thing's for. It just puts cash in your pocket the more kills you get. And now, player to the right. Just going to have to pay for this. MCK. Falling off it a little. And the rest, Epsilon looking over towards B as well. Alze had a second to make something happen. Smooya finding target, and there's the moneymaker coming in.
Yeah. $600 in the back pocket of Barbar as they edge ever close to 216, and could have been a kill. Using just those pistols versus that head armor is nightmare territory. Nightmare fuel if you're a CS player. Get that dink sound and then you realize you've just got to do it again. Terrifying stuff. Not going to be able to do too much more with it. 2 players conceding dinks, but nothing more to get excited about for them just yet. Anyone wondering what the man behind them is doing? The 6th man, if you will, he is the coach. And we'll be able to get that perspective of all 5 monitors, and during those tactical timeouts can chime in with his observations, perhaps even a page from their strategy book. But look how quick this is, Lauren. Epsilon, they are just storming towards Infused. Charles, he's not even going to get up on this boost with his weapon out before they're on the site. Panic starts to panic. Look at this. They have no idea where to put their nades and where to put their bodies, and already Freddy knows where to put his bullets. No armor?
Nope. Yeah, this is not looking great. Epsilon turning the screws now. It's time to save. Infused, they don't have a step back into it. It's going to be 14-9. There's no way they can stop this round now. They have just kicked them while they're down. Overwhelmed and outplayed.
Are you messing with me when you say Trials didn't have armor?
I don't think he could afford it either, to be fair.
But he had an M4.
Yeah. Yeah, 200.
Yeah, did he have an M4? Am I tripping?
No, he had a...
He went for a glass cannon M4.
He's a mad lad.
I mean, the theory perhaps is he's on boost. So you can only see his... I'm not sure, but Infused,
yeah.
They're going to get something out of this. It's not nothing. Couple of frags onto Epsilon. And another one. Cosmine jumps into the meat grinder. Now these kills are nothing to get too excited about. Instead, it will just be a question of survival for these players. You can see Epsilon continuing the hunt, unfazed by their conceded losses. They've got money until the end of time now. 1,600, or rather 16,000 is the maximum amount of money you can accrue. And both of them, or 2 players, have kind of hit that mark. Still, 2 rounds to go to that magic 16, Lauren. And now we do have a 4-buy on either side, and happy to report all armors have been purchased.
Right, on the other side, oh, I love these flashbangs. Right up and over. Smooya fighting on the angle with Fry there, but he's going to fall back a little bit to this, find a deeper angle, give up that control, but that's fine. They made a little bit of an earlier attempt into it, but is this going to be quicker? Let's see what Barbar may do at this point. It looks like Infused is just going to play deep on the sides, which means you don't get as much information. That's the only issue that happens. You kind of have to hope you're in the right place at the right time. There's going to be eyes on MTK. Aaron 2. In the end, Red Snake. These 3 have the weight of possibly the result of this game in their hands this round. The flash has come in, and here comes the hit. The timing could be worse for MCK. He backs off at the worst time. He does find cover for merely a second. Epsilon strike back and strike hard.
By falling off the balcony at that particular moment, his options were very limited. So vulnerable. If he wants to get eyes on sight, he is vulnerable to another player from balcony. And just victims of his decision there. Now then, looking to be boosted up. You can see Fry is going to jump on his teammate's head. Not realistic, I hear you, Decree. If you want competition, Counter-Strike is the place to go. And another round this time for Epsilon. they are looking to be finishing this one off. Nice, neat, and tidily. Tying a bow around it and popping it under the tree for... you're not going to help me out here, are you, Lauren?
No.
No.
15-9. Do or die time. Epsilon backs. Not to the wall this time at all. They've had a pretty good sail of things. Once they got going here, we've seen the pace coming in, the quickening of it. Individuals started to turn up, but Infused never looked like they were quite there.
It seems that Epsilon are the ones breaking the... Well, breaking the trend, really, bucking the trend, because not only did they have a good CT side, but they're also just storming through this T side. It seems like Infused just still can't find an answer. It's a discussion topic, I'm sure, for the desk, the absence of CT holds from almost every team.
Yeah.
And it seems like Infused are no different. We'll be sure to throw
hit,
that one
Alex.
towards Bent. But here, right, here it comes. Here comes the tide, and they're about to start crashing. It will be Fry who tries to be the rock, and nothing's going to happen. They were doing the flashbang dance, and now Aaron emerges through the smoke and is rendered completely useless. Barbar's Kalashnikov is the one to start singing. Cosmine is starting to strum a ditty of his own. And now Trials, what on earth can you do? It will be the answer, a resounding nothing. MCK then has the weight of his team and the result on his shoulders. The time shall be cut short. As now he stands. 4 players hunting him down. It's Cosmine again. 3K from him. And they've done it. Epsilon back-to-back, week-to-week. 2 zeros. 2 series. 2 success stories. And Epsilon, they took a while to get going, but they find their form. Scary-looking team coming into the rest of the series.
Absolutely. There were shaky moments. There were moments that Infused did punish them. But overall, you felt the class, the overall ability, sat with the side on the other side of this stage. Epsilon, these guys look well-rounded. They've got individuals who can provide. And we've seen it now in a couple of ways. A lot of what we saw in Mirage really got me excited. I love the approach there. I don't think we got to see them push to their limits, really, on Inferno. But I can imagine there's a lot to be seen down the line from these guys, and I can't wait to witness them on their journey here.
Absolutely. This is, I was going to say a big win for Epsilon. Every win counts for the same, especially if you do get, of course, that 2-0. But it is a huge step in the right direction. You're battling versus Envy. These guys have 2-0'd every series. They've not dropped a map yet, of course, the guys over from France. And now you're taking a step in the right direction. Yep. You know, there is quite the discrepancy between Envy and Epsilon. I think I had it in front of me. Let me just make sure I double check it. So it's 9-5.
Yep.
Splitting things makes life a whole lot easier.
Certainly does, but I think that's enough from us for now. What a great series, though. It's always good to have you back, Carsten, from UKCS. How was it for you today?
I had a great time, dude.
Pretty good. Yeah, definitely a lot to be seen, so we can't wait to see more action, but that's not going to be happening today. Let's hear from the desk, see what they thought about this matchup. A lot to be said.
Thank you very much. Delightful to have you with us, Machine, and of course, Pansy, lovely to have you back for week 4. Looking forward to seeing more of them, but let's talk about that match in just a moment because Epsilon got that 2-0 win over Infused. We will discuss this in detail in just a moment.
Okay, so this is the first time I've been behind the caster's desk,
Welcome.
and I feel very official right now. Oh yes.
Oh, put it on.
Put a headset on me.
Audio guy right now is freaking out.
Probably.
Welcome.
Ooh.
And you get to hear my voice. I'm like whispering in your ear.
Yeah. Machine, Pansy, it has been an absolute pleasure. I feel like we are a family, right? Yeah, we'll have this. There you go. So you can speak.
Good idea.
I feel like we're a family now at the Gfinity Elite Series.
Yeah.
We're in our 4th week.
Yeah.
This is first.
What am I then? I mean, I've just invaded the family, and now I'm about to shoot off again.
You're the new nephew.
The nephew that's really not present.
Large.
We don't like him.
He's a large baby.
Oh yeah, okay. You're making me a baby. Fine.
How are you finding it, Machine?
Dude, great. I haven't actually. I'm much less in the casting seat now, or casting floor now. But it's good. It's good to work with, of course, Lauren. 8 years we counted it. 8 years we've known each other.
Something disgraceful like that. Yeah, it's nice to be back in the UK casting together, casting UKCS. It's kind of brought us back to the roots a little. Yeah.
So, how did you find that match, that game?
You can have a little bit on this one.
I would probably say...
You're back to casting, right?
I would say it was exciting for one reason, and that's, of course, I think Mirage stands out to me getting to see Epsilon's depth. We know that they're good at the game. They're here for a reason, but getting to see that there's more to them than just walking out and shooting people. We got to see some of the, the double fakes, the kind of puppet master style of Counter-Strike that I think a lot of people really enjoy, especially those that watch a lot of the game. So seeing that, it inspires me for perhaps toppling the undefeated indomitable Envy.
Yeah, no, for me, kind of following on to that, I do get to cast more than Alex. He's, traditionally a host, right? He's normally the guy on that desk, so it's nice to have him back over here. But no, for me, I get to see a lot of, the tier 1 teams, the very best in the world on a regular basis. But there were moments in that game that I saw Epsilon doing things that are really interesting to me. That double fake that they pulled is something you don't even get to see tier 1 teams do all the time and get away with it to that extent. Yeah. So very exciting, a real kind of glimmer at it. There's a lot of potential there, genuine potential, not just for the UK scene or for this, boil it down. No, genuine overall potential. So very exciting.
Now you're talking about genuine potential. Who is your player of today?
MVP.
I know. Who's your MVP? You don't have to do. You can do one each.
Okay, so if I'd have just looked at the games, I'd probably given a name that definitely did not perform. I think actually standing out to me, probably Freddie B. The reason, of course, being that he has had all of his brothers, all of the players he played with, taken away from him, and he's still striking frags and he's still picking up wins.
Right.
I'm going for Smuya. I just like players
he's a character.
A bit mouthy, and they come through and they deliver. That's what I like.
He's very, very sassy. Now, it's been a pleasure. I need to get out of here. This is not where I belong.
You're welcome to come back anytime.
Yeah.
Right.
We live here.
And maybe I'll just hide under the desk. Thanks, guys. Pansy Machine. Brilliant.
Welcome.
So match 4 of the Elite Series week 4. The last match of the day finished 2-0 to Epsilon versus Infused. They were just too strong for Team Infused, even though they fought valiantly as the UK side. The international side, Epsilon, many tipped them to be the outright winners of this whole tournament, but so far, well, they're doing the business now. Joining me on the panel all day, I have had Csgo and James. We're seeing what that means to them. The pressure's on them, aren't they? Because they were tipped to be some of the favourites, but they delivered their 2 maps. Last one, Inferno, they did the business 16-9 in the end.
Yeah, I feel like the pressure on them has been kind of expected, obviously, because they are tipped to be favourites and win everything. But it kind of felt like it kind of normal for them to start really slowly, like a new roster with all the players now speaking English as a way of communicating. And that's kind of unusual for some people, like Cosmin, for example, he's Romanian. He has to come into this team and then start speaking English. I remember that was an issue with them.
Yeah.
So to start slowly, and then we're seeing them build up now. It's compared to week 1, it's a different team completely.
Yeah, and just too strong for Infused, or just bad play sometimes from Infused, bad tactics?
I think that Epsilon were too strong for Infused. I mean, we saw in the first map that Epsilon's decision-making in the middle of the round, they had good reads as to what was going on with their opponent. And you look at Inferno, for example, they won 6 rounds in a row, 6 unanswered rounds towards the end, where they eventually went A almost every single time, and Infused just had no answer for it. So, sometimes you'll see, sometimes if a strat on a T side doesn't quite work, people will keep doing it and slightly adjust it because they think it just gets them over the edge. But obviously, Epsilon were beyond that, and it could be that they were running the same strat every single time towards A, and they just couldn't do anything about it, so why change it?
Yeah, well, what we'll do right now is we'll welcome one of the players, actually the man who got the most frags in both maps, Mirage and Inferno. His name is Smuya, and he's from the winning team. Epsilon will join us now. Come on, down! It's Bryce.
We'll just do fist bump. My shoulder hurts.
No worries, man. Come and join us. Smuya, I'm loving the shorts. You just got that casual relaxedness that came through on your gameplay there. 44 kills, leading for your team, Epsilon. Rate your performance. Yes, you got the most kills and the most frags. And now,
about time.
Rate your performance today and the rest of the teams.
Teams on T side 10, CT side 5.7 maybe.
I'll take that.
It was kind of because saying who we were playing, we should have beat them like a lot. Like obviously no disrespect to them, but we should be rolling over them. But and then my performance. 6 maybe 7.
Okay.
My shoulder really hurt, so I had to change my sensitivity to play. It was kind of horrible.
Really? So you were playing through an injury. I love that even more about your
not an injury, but I had to up my sense by 0.5 or something like that. So it just sucks.
Okay, well, we discussed, James, about on Epsilon's double AWPing on the CT side. Let's break that down for people at home or wherever they may be, and pose that question to Smuya. What was going on there?
Yeah, so for the people at home, 2 sniper rifles is a big investment, basically, and you guys had good momentum when you had 1 sniper, and obviously there was more than one school of thought, right? You can just keep doing what works until they figure it out, or you can change it before they figure it out, or the third one, you can just do what you like, really. So double AWPs on the 10th round, I think it was.
On which map?
Inferno. Yeah. I think he did say that. You guys seem to go double AWPs on round number 10 on every map, but on Inferno.
I mean, Barbar's like crazy as well at AWPing, and sometimes I like to just go like towards B, just hit like 1 shot, fall back. Barbar's just like, especially on Inferno, he's just crazy at going up quad and just like
He seems crazy in general from
like, Inferno quad's like his spot. Like he always owns it with an AWP. So I just said, just do it. Like I'm not going to stop him from killing everyone, am I? So I said, yeah, just go kill people. And I'll just go B and just get 1 kill and it's fine. As long as we're in the round. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought the scoreline would have been more dominant.
Yeah.
Potentially, had you not changed things up there, because it eventually like broke your economy, but it looked so strong before that I thought maybe you would have ended up on a...
Yeah, that's like down to me. Like I was just whiffing all. I'm not sure if the camera was on me, but there's a round where I must have shot like 4 AWP shots, man. I'm just like, I suck. Like I am so bad at this game.
I love it when players on the Csgo break it down and go, do you know what? I was rubbish in that.
You can't anti-shot the round. Like I've missed 4 shots on people peeking me. I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm giving up. Buy the AWP. I don't care anymore. I'll buy a UMP. I just gave up, man.
And what about on the T side? We talked about their CT side, and you rated your T side very highly. They sort of worked out a way to play on the A side against Infused, and they just looked stronger and stronger, and Infused didn't know how to deal with that, did they?
Yeah, it seemed, from what we could tell, that you guys just decided to ultimately go A almost every single round because you're just winning it every time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, the 2 B guys are so far away. And it's like 4v2 at least, so it's just, what can you do? Just left to stare at the walls.
Well, most rounds, like, there was a round specifically where the triple netted B, and we were just, I was like, boys, go away, fast. There's only 2, get them, go. And we just like ran 1 flash mid, traded. I was like, that's 1 round. Then they had to eco, that's like 2 rounds. And then the next round, I think we did go B once. And then the Red Snake got a double kill, and he had 3 kills. So I was like, we're not going there anymore. We don't want to get any momentum. So I was like, tilt A, and then we just started killing everyone. And I was like, this is fine, this is working, just kill everyone, just get the W.
Well, I'd love to see some of the action from today and get your thoughts on it,
boy.
if you can. Smuya, this is it. Oh boy, here he goes.
Oh, I can't see it, bro. Oh, this was, I didn't even know this happened. Oh, this is me just
This last shot was really sweet. Woo! That was nice.
Yeah, that's just eco kills. Oh, here's Barbar again at quad, owning everybody. Oh, that's an eco round, never mind. Oh, this was crazy actually. This was really important because that was our 6th round, right? Oh, then we lost that round. Never mind. Oh, here we go. This is the highlight I like. Woo! Eco round.
23 HP. I'll just stay here on my own. Why not?
Oh, this was important as well because then they had like no money as well. Oh, this is ready. Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't even know the thing. What happened here? This is the last one.
Yeah,
oh boy. Oh, this is where we just traded. Oh my god, what happened here? Where was I? That was B, I think.
What I love about the CSGO, because you don't get to see it at various points, and obviously for everyone watching CSGO for the first time, you do not know where those players are. Sometimes it comes up as an X-ray, like a silhouette. Yeah. But you are turning corners, you're peeking. That's what SEO said you are. You're one of those players who just doesn't care. You just turn around corners and just pop off shots left, right, and centre. But it must be nice to watch the playback there. And would you look at that and then adapt your play differently for next week, or make it a bit tighter?
I don't know who we're playing. Do you know? Do you have like the fixtures? Anybody?
We will get to the schedule probably. We can tee that up.
I don't know who we're playing, so it depends who we play, really. Like, I really want to play Envious, because everyone's saying that, oh, they're so good. Like, all I'm saying is they're getting 2-0'd 100%. Like, they're not that good, trust me. I'm kind of scared of Prophecy, though, because they're a bit... Even though they got 6-0'd by Envy, like, that was just lucky. Yeah. Not lucky, but, like, no one gets 6-0'd. Like, that doesn't happen very often, so it's just, like a random occurrence, so... I want to play Envy. But if we play against Envy, I'm going to be jumping through smokes, flashing through smokes. I'm just going to be doing everything, wide-facing everything, just crouch peek and stuff, so yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
I'm afraid to say, just looking at the little schedule here, you're playing Endpoint next week, so another UK team. I have to ask you a question, actually. So you won't get to play Envious yet. Here's something that's just come through. I've been told, and I'll put this to SEO and James as well, that there's rumour, right, no smoke without a fire, that Penta, the German side, are keen to sign Charlie Pickles. Now, I've just heard that out on the Twitter. And I'm going to put it to you because, obviously, as a UK player, going to a European side...
Who said that?
HLTV.
Answer the question, sir. What's it like as a UK CSGO player, going to a European side and
That's not happening.
OK. But if...
How did you end up on Epsilon? I was going to ask, because that's like, you're the only UK player there, right?
Yeah.
It's a long way from home.
It's literally from those frags you saw on the screen, eco frags and HLTV, that boosted my rating, and Epsilon were like, yo, this guy might be quite good. And on the ETA as well, I'm kind of like, not the king, but I was #1 in the world like 8 months in a row for like RWS, and they were like, ooh, it must be good. Give him a go. And then we played a couple of games, and they were like, we'll have him, I suppose.
Too late now, guys. Contract's been signed.
Yeah. Forever.
Well, Samir, lovely to have you down on the panel and to give your insight into the match. Congratulations on the win today and getting the top amount of frags and kills. What we're going to do right now is throw up to Yasmin, who has got one of the losing team. Infused boys with her.
No. I am up here with Trials. All right, we've just been sat listening to Smooya, and I know it probably is the worst thing, us putting you up here and having to listen. All right, but you're all right? Not rubbing salt in the wounds at all.
I do like a bit of banter, it's all right. Some people take it to heart, but it's no, it's all right.
All right, so what I've been saying is that to a lot of the players is that we are now really in the depth of the Elite Series, and I've seen the passion that Neil has for all of you as players. How is it in the week? You know, your practice, your team morale, how is it?
Well, we haven't been able to practice recently because Aaron's been away for work, but having Neil behind on the stage, really good, like for motivation. He's always there when we're down, you know, getting us riled up, getting us into the game, and it's helped us out a lot.
He's definitely emotional, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he loves it, doesn't he? Yeah. He loves it.
So what are you doing within the week, you know, as a team?
Well, probably for now, obviously we've just been knocked out, I think we're 4th maybe, or just 5th. So we're sort of battling with Method more or less for the 4th spot. So go back, watch some demos, stuff like that, go over, and then come back stronger for next week, hopefully.
And then going forward, who do you think, Envy was just mentioned prior, who do you think is your biggest sort of competition?
Probably Prophecy. They're really good. They seem quite drilled. Obviously, last week they got absolutely smashed by Envy, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to give them a good game and come with a win.
Is there one player that you're worried about at all?
That Slap guy, he seems pretty good today. I saw that on the stream. He had some dirty kills against Excellence, yeah. So.
Taking any tips from anyone, do you think, during this competition?
I'll definitely be watching his demos, I can tell you that much. Yeah.
All right, so Trials, I'm going to congratulations. It's been great having you a part of it. Further going on, wish you all the best. All right, back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Yasmin, and Trials as well from the losing team, Infused. Looking confident, you played very well today. Listen, look at the results of today. Anything that was out of the ordinary? I mean, Excel managed to get that 1-0 draw with Endpoint, a battle of the UK teams. Team Envious being dominant again with Method, but Method gave them a run for their money. And again, Team Infused, although yes, it's a 2-0 win to Epsilon, they still gave them a run for their money. It wasn't a walkover, was it?
No, I suppose the results, as a scoreline, it's not unexpected, I suppose, to see those scorelines how they are. But then on the map scores, it was closer than a 2-0 suggests, obviously. So the Endpoint result kind of went as I thought it would do, but otherwise it was kind of expected, really. I
love the confidence of Smir, who was just joining us on the panel. There is a man who doesn't really see anyone else as competition. He just sees it as another day at the office, really. That confidence will hopefully boost them to go on and keep on winning and maybe potentially win it at the end, right?
Yeah, it's great to have that confidence because there can be times, like very split moments where if you don't have any fear, you can win a match for your team. So to have that kind of confidence can pay off well. And a good example is Fnatic and JW, right? They'll let him make some wild plays, which will maybe make them lose a match, or maybe make them win a match as well. But you want your players to play with confidence. So to have that at such a young age is awesome. It's quite funny as well.
It's very funny indeed. Let's look at the standings of the Elite Series in week 4. We've made it to the end of it now. Obviously, at the top of the table, we have Envious. 4 in a row. They are high-flying, that French team, even though Smir is very confident, excited. He looked disappointed he's playing Endpoint, but they're going to give him a tough match next week, definitely. That's one of the matches matches I'd be definitely looking out for in week 5 next week. Would you not agree, Csgo?
Yeah, I'd have to say so. Obviously, it's his old team, technically. So there's always that storyline to add on to it. You might want to one-up Imi in terms of AWPing too.
Yeah.
So I feel it's a bit of a personal battle for him as well.
Yeah,
I'm better than you guys.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else who used to play for Endpoint. James, can you think of anyone?
I'm not familiar with Endpoint myself.
No,
but it's interesting, you know. Now we've got some arrogance out there, right? We can get some banter going, and hopefully they'll start shouting at each other. You know, that's always good. We've got the arena for it, right? We need more teams shouting at each other, and you know, having some signs, nice signs, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
Could make some at home.
And obviously, another loss for Reason down at the bottom of that table. Could there be a remarkable come around? Could it turn around for them? Could they, I don't know, take some confidence juice for next week and come back and get that first win? Could that potentially happen?
I wouldn't say so. It's kind of it's unlucky really that Thomas had to go after the second week. It kind of disrupted their possible season. And obviously it's not in their hands now. I think all the UK teams are kind of accepted. It kind of depends on all the other results. As long as we win out, it still depends on other teams. Like all of them are saying it's a bit of a slugfest at this point.
Yeah.
So, table aside, I think they can still. Most of the teams who lost today, I think there are clear things that they can review and improve on for the future, so they can still put out some good performances and just grow over time, which can be, you know, if you're at the bottom of the leaderboard, right, and you're not really facing any chance of making the playoffs, you can still just improve as a team for the future.
Yeah, well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the panel this week. James, lovely to have you. First time on the Elite Series Week 4. Csgo, just same as usual from you, an absolute delight. Looking forward to Week 5. Listen, our 4th week of Counter-Strike competition is in the book, with Envious leading the way in the Elite Series. Tomorrow, we'll be back with more live action from the global phenomenon that is Rocket League. Be sure to join us at the Gfinity Elite for that one. From all of us, good night.
Hoodlum retaliates. Once again, it's all left in the hands of Mace.
Nichols gets overrun. It's Connor delivering, and Boaster there to follow up as well.
Should be having a chance here, and he does. Absolutely uncontested at that one.
That is going to be as clean as you like. It's hunting it down, and they've done it.